Welcome inside Dale Softball Stadium for WCBN's sports coverage of Michigan. Softball alongside Dalton Pataki. I'm Leo Glavin as we get you set for Michigan and Notre Dame, the second game for these two teams in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Megan Betza will get the start for the second straight day. Dalton, she was on fire last night. How can she keep going this morning?
Well, she just has to stay locked in. She had all three pitches working. She used all three of them to get or to accumulate 9 strikeouts last night. If she can command each one of those pitches like she did last night, she can keep the Fighting Irish batters off balance.
2-1 on the year, a .43 ERA with 36 strikeouts. Betza was the starter when these two teams played last year in the NCAA Regional. She came away with the win in 7 innings of work, giving up just 2 earned runs with 9 Ks, and more importantly, 0 walks. Allie Wester will lead things off for the Fighting Irish. The infield corner's in. First pitch misses on the outside, and we are underway on day 2 of this ACC Big Ten Challenge. Michigan going in their home white uniforms with the blue pants. Notre Dame in all blue. The 1-0 pitch. Once again missing outside. Wester, a slap hitter, getting a quick jump ahead in the count 2-0.
And with Wester being the slap hitter, as is tradition, you have your corners brought in. Montemurano maybe only 20 feet away from that batter's box.
2-0 pitch. Trying to paint that outside corner unsuccessfully. 3-0.
That one didn't miss by a whole bunch. Maybe just off the black. So far, nothing but fastballs out of Betza.
Betza ready's 3-0 pitch. That one right over the heart of the plate for her first strike of the game.
And a take all the way there from Wester. While she did get her run up in, it didn't look like she was going to make any type of effort to swing there.
Betza still behind in the count. The 3-1 pitch. Slap towards first base. Blanco flips it to Faith Canfield, who made the good adjustment, running over from second to cover first for first baseman, who fired it in time for the first out of the game.
And textbook wheel coverage there on first base with the corners coming in. Canfield knows that it would be a difficult play for Blanco to circle back around and either get the tag or the base. Excellent job moving on the swing of the bat to cover first.
Second at-bat coming from Melissa Rockford, and Betza gets ahead in the count 0-1, catching the inside part of the plate. Rockford, a sophomore from Irvine, California. A lot of West Coast players for both these teams playing here this morning. That's a second, fouled up and out of play. She's ahead 0-2, looking for her first strikeout of this morning's affair.
And Rockford went 0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, where Notre Dame couldn't hold them off, losing that match 4-1.
Betza readies for the 0-2 pitch. On its way, and it got a piece of her.
Hit square right in that elbow pad.
Yeah, Rockford using that elbow pad properly to get aboard. First base runner of the game for Betza, was ahead 0-2 in the count and went just 2 inside and got a piece of Rockford's left elbow. That brings Morgan Reed to the plate. The lefty has Rockford at first, ready to go on contact. 1 out in the inning here. The first inning of play. And that one right over the heart of the plate for a called strike.
Morgan Reed, their opening tournament weekend went astounding 9 for 14 with 3 RBIs at the plate in their opening tournament.
Batting .588 coming into today's contest. Ready for the 0-1 pitch, and that one high. And that'll allow Rockford to advance to second. Subject able to track it down at the backstop, but a runner in scoring possession here in the top of the first, and that will lead to a conference on the mound.
And Megan Betts, something we didn't see out of her yesterday was, I mean, so far she's been wild by her own standards. The hit batter, the high pitch there to let Rockford move over to second.
And that'll draw Jennifer Brundage from the dugout to have a conference with her senior pitcher and the catcher, Alex Subject.
Notre Dame, last time they faced off against the Wolverines was in that regional final NCAA tournament, where Michigan took that one by the tune of 6-4 in Ann Arbor.
It was a game that saw the Wolverines advance to the Super Regional, and of course the Wolverines ultimately getting back to Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. They look to go there once again this year. 1-1 still the count. Betzaretti's deliver, and this one fouled, tracking towards the left field line and out of play. With the runner on second, it'll be interesting to see really the first real trouble we've seen Betts in this weekend. She was dominant yesterday. NC State never had a running and scoring position when she was in the circle.
Inning. Yeah, and that, like you said, that was even when
Leah Crockett had dispelled it. The 1-2 pitch from Betza. Swung on, tapper foul.
Tried to get her with a curve there, but excellent job by Reed to fight it off.
Betzaretti's 1-2 count, 1 out in the inning, runner at second. Top of the first here in Raleigh. That one high and out of the zone. Runs the count even at 2-2.
And you'll see Mega Betza do that all the time when she has pitches to waste. She'll go high and outside or low and outside to try and induce a swing and a miss. And even at 2-2, she might go right back to it.
2-2 pitch, batted. Chasing it down to Canfield at second. Fires not in time. And we have runners on the corners here with just 1 out in the inning. And Caitlin Brooks coming to the dish.
And that ball had just enough backspin off the swing to where it shot by before Betza could react to it, but slowed down and really dug into the dirt before Canfield could run up and flip to first.
Yeah, Canfield fielded it as cleanly as she could and fired it with little hesitation, as you said, just the softball getting caught up in the dirt. And now we have runners at the corners with just 1 out in the inning. Notre Dame looking to get the first run of this game in the top of the first. First pitch high and inside to Caitlin Brooks, who already has 2 RBIs on the season, and she'll look to add to that total. Just a deep fly ball, likely enough to score Rockford from third. Reed at first base, ready to run on contact as well. And that one in there for a called strike at the knees. That's a needed pitch that couldn't be hit, and she delivered the strike. Trying to get out of her first real damage of this ACC Big Ten Challenge here in the top of the first. 1-1 count, 1 out in the inning, runners on the corners. This one swung on, blasted into deep left field. No doubt about it, off the bat, a 3-run shot for Notre Dame's Caitlin Brooks. Her first of the year, give the Irish a 3-0 lead.
And what a start here out of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Everyone knows this Michigan team is tough to beat, but when you can jump on Megan Betza early, maybe chase her out of this game, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have put themselves in an excellent spot to upset the number 10 team of the country early.
And there was some concern, I think, from both of us yesterday when Betza went out. We know the blister problems in the past. I don't think that's the case there. She's just trying to work herself out of a jam, and Brooks was able to blast that one. No wind to speak of, nothing but a clear blue sky. Brooks didn't need any assistance, though. She corked that one well out over the left field wall. And a big start for Notre Dame. Megan Betza, who looked unflappable yesterday, gives up a 3-run shot in the first inning, and now Michigan will have to work from behind for the first time this weekend. They still got to get out of the inning with just 1 out so far here in the top of the first. A Caitlin Brooks 3-run home run has given the Irish an early 3-0 lead.
That brings up Carly Wester. Carly Wester named to the top 50 watch list in the 2017 USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year award. So it's not going to get a whole lot easier for Megan Betza.
The inside pitch leads to a shoulder turn from Wester and a called ball.
This is her third straight preseason being named to this list, too.
Wester, really the only player for Notre Dame to have success against Betza. In their meeting last season, she was 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. And she will get hit in the thigh. And Betza really struggling with some control here early as that ball goes towards the dugout. And Wester will advance to first on the hit by pitch, the second of the inning. And you have to think perhaps a short leash for Betza given her struggles here early on. No activity yet, though, to speak of in the bullpen. But as you noted, Tara Blanco also warms up as if she's getting ready to pitch each and every game. So they don't need her in the bullpen for her to be warm early on. Currently, she defends first. 1 out, a runner at first base after Wester took a hit by pitch to the leading thigh. And the first pitch of the at-bat to MK Bonamy. He's taken for a ball. Betza not getting ahead in the count where she's so dangerous here. Notre Dame being very patient at the plate, and they've been given plenty of reasons to do so. Notre Dame on top 3-0. Runner at first, the 1-0 pitch to Bonamy. Running and trying to steal second. It goes off of the back, and she will slide into third. Carly Wester gets the steal and then advances to third after the throw that I thought was pretty on line.
Yeah,
from subject, just went off her back into left field, and she was able to advance to third, and now another runner at third and in scoring position for Notre Dame, who already lead 3-0.
And what a heads-up play there by Carly Wester, the captain of this Notre Dame team, to come in. She draws the hit by pitch. Then on the steal, recognizes that when that ball bounces away, there was nobody that could get to that ball before she could get to third.
Officially a steal and then a throwing error, allowing her to advance to third. It's not going to matter how they score it, though, to Megan Betza. She just has to try to prevent Notre Dame from getting an even bigger lead.
And now the infield playing in for the Wolverines, trying not to concede that Wester run on third.
The 2-0 pitch to Bonamy. That one in there for a called strike. About belt high, catching the outside part of the plate.
And it does look like Leah Crockett is warming up in that Michigan bullpen.
We saw her finish the game yesterday. She entered with a 12-0 lead. Here she might be entering with a 3-0, if not 4-0 deficit. The 2-1 pitch to Bonamy swung on and missed. A big strike there from Betza to get even in the count at 2-2, and a strikeout would be huge here to get her confidence back on track.
And we've seen it last year where Betza will come out and maybe struggle early, but she can lock it in at any time. And when she is, she's so dangerous.
Trying to settle down here with a 3-0 deficit already facing her, and she gets the outside part of the plate and gets Bonamy to chase it.
It looked like it was a curveball that came right down the middle and then broke outside, inducing that swing and a miss.
First strikeout of the game for Megan Betza. And after giving up that 3-run shot, she is settled down here, looking for her third and final out of the inning. Pitch low. Looking for Katie Marino to chase one. She does not comply. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch. Over the heart of the plate for a strike.
Katie Marino, the freshman from Warren, New Jersey. She went 0-4 yesterday, but a promising young athlete. 0
for 4 on the season.
0 for 4 on the season.
She has 1 walk, 1 RBI to her credit, and she can add a second here with a runner at third. Fouls the second strike off. And that's a head in the count where she's so dangerous, 1-2.
promising young athlete, though, for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. She also played a little bit of basketball this year.
And a freshman from Warren, New Jersey, readies for the 1-2 pitch. Slaps this one right back to Betza. Underhand flip to Blanco, and the Wolverines get out of the inning, but not unscathed. Notre Dame led by a 3-run home run from Caitlin Brooks, giving the Irish a 3-0 lead here as we head to the bottom frame of the first inning. Now it'll be interesting to see how does Michigan respond to the deficit. Carol Hutchins, of course, in her 33rd year, the winningest coach in collegiate softball history, gathering with her team on the field, trying to get the Maize and Blue refocused.
There's absolutely no reason that Coach Hutch can't expect her team to come back. I mean, if you came in and told her team that 3-run, or you would need more than 3 runs to win this game, she would be like, yeah, of course. And they have the capability of putting up more than 3 runs in an inning. It's completely possible for them to even this one back up before the end of the first.
They had 5 home runs yesterday and part of their 12-0 rout of NC State. So we certainly know the firepower is there for the Wolverines. I think the bigger concern has to be, can Megan Betza regroup? She'll have a half inning to do so.
And it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the Michigan coaching staff does here, because while she did come out shaky, ending on 2 very good at-bats, getting back-to-back outs via the K and a easy tapper back to the circle, Megan Betza could be getting locked in, and maybe it could be just the early morning start. Offensively, though, it will be interesting to see if Kelly Christner can keep up the Infuego start she's had to the season. 3 home runs yesterday.
Caitlin Brooks gets the start in the circle for Notre Dame. Natalie Peters to lead things off for the Wolverines, batting .409 on the year with a double and 3 RBIs to her credit. The Wolverines down 3-0 as we start the bottom of the first here in Raleigh, North Carolina. That first pitch from Brooks misses on the outside part of the plate.
And Peters, like most leadoff hitters in softball, a slap hitter. Corners will be in, middle of the infield, creeping up slightly. But yesterday we saw her put it past infield.
And that one slapped into left field. Allie Wester, even though she was camped fairly close to the infield, has to field it off a hop, and that's what the Wolverines needed, a leadoff single from Natalie Peters, and she's been such a bright spot for the Wolverines early on, just a sophomore.
And so dangerous on the base paths, too. We talked about a little bit yesterday, especially when you get Ramirez batting out of that 9 slot. If you can get her on base to follow it up with Peters, such speed on the base paths can create a lot of stress on the defense.
A runner aboard at first. Wolverines down 3-0, and this one off the bat of Faith Canfield, and she beats out the throw, and the Wolverines have runners at first and second. She tapped that one over to Katie Marino and reaches aboard.
There was a force out on second. They tried flipping 2 there, but Canfield just fast enough to beat it out. Now the red-hot Christner up to the plate.
Christner, 3 home runs yesterday, just the 4th Wolverine ever to do it. As you pointed out, she'll have Canfield at first with the force out at second.
And a strike on the outside corner there, and Christner in disbelief almost, thinking it was too low.
And the 0-1 pitch gets away from the catcher, Heidi, and allows Faith Canfield to advance to second, a runner in scoring position for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the first. Notre Dame on top 3-0.
And that one, you hate to see it, but it's going to be credited to Brooks, but that was just off Heidi Smith.
Yeah, Heidi certainly had a play on it. It was a high pitch, though. The 1-1 pitch on its way to Christner, low and outside. The count in Christner's favor at 2-1. Christner ready for the 2-1 pitch. Change up over the outside part of the plate, 2-2. The count now even with the runner at second. Christner batting 579 on the year. And as you pointed out, red hot 3 home runs yesterday night. The 2-2 pitch blasted right back up the middle. Great play by Marino, who throws it in time for the second out of the inning. Good hustle by Christner, but a better play and throw by Katie Marino, who had to track towards center field, and it was a blast off the bat that I thought might get through, but a good defensive play by Marino to prevent the Wolverines from touching home for the first time today.
Yeah, Marino with the quick read and reaction there. Like you said, I thought that was going to trickle safely into the outfield, but heck of a play there by them.
Does move Canfield over to third, and now Tara Blanco responsible with bringing her home. Fouls the first pitch of her at-bat off into the netting. Behind 0-1 with 2 outs in the inning. Notre Dame on top 3-0. Blanco readies for the 0-1 pitch. It's not been an easy start for her. Batting just 188, and she takes that pitch inside for a called strike, 0-2. Blanco now having to get defensive at the plate.
And it would be huge for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to put a 3 spot up on Betts in the top, then in the bottom, keep the Wolverines off the board.
Notre Dame leads it 3-0. The Wolverines looking for their first run. Blanco taps it over to Marino, who fields it cleanly, fires it in time for the third and final out of the inning. A great start for Caitlin Brooks. She has a 3-0 lead after her 3-run home run, and then in the circle gets Michigan to go scoreless, and we head to the top of the second with the Fighting Irish on top 3-0.
And after that leadoff hit to Peters, Brooks induced 3 straight ground outs to second baseman Marino. Excellent job there. Like we said, keeping the Wolverines off the board, because when they get base runners on and pitchers have to start worrying about giving up those runs, it can just create an avalanche. But credit Brooks, she stayed steady and is keeping the Wolverines at bay.
And this is a Notre Dame team that lost to fellow Michigan Big Ten foe Minnesota yesterday in their first of these 4 ACC Big Ten Challenge games, but they have responded very positively this morning. On top 3-0, Megan Betza returning to the circle. Carol Hutchins showing some confidence in her senior starter.
And especially after the last 2 batters of that first inning, the strikeout and the easy tapper, there's not a whole lot of downside to bringing Betza back out. Like you said, the senior, she can lock it in anytime. And Michigan can get 3 runs with 1 swing of the bat at almost any time from more than half the starting lineup. So
Madison Heidi readies for her first at-bat of this game. Her team leading 3-0 as Betza gets back into the circle looking to regroup after giving up a 3-run home run in the first. The first pitch of the second inning from Betza just misses.
Must have missed low.
Yeah, from our vantage point, comfortably over the plate, but must have been well below the knees as it didn't generate the call from home plate umpire Robert Gast. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled right over us out of play. Betza back even at 1-1, looking for just her second strikeout of this game. The 1-1 pitch from Betza. That one well outside, 2-1. Now in favor of Madison Heidi. Heidi entering today's contest, batting .200 with just 1 hit on the year, getting her 4th start of the season this morning. The 2-1 pitch from Betza. And that one misses. 3-1. Betza struggling with her control here through an inning plus.
Yeah, and particularly the control of the fastball. She's been all over the map with it.
Heidi taking all the way, and that one well above the letters across her chest. And she is aboard with the walk. Betsa just trying to gain her control back, get into that rhythm, because as you mentioned, once she's locked in, it's trouble for the opponent. But right now, just trying to find that groove. Haley Bigler digs in for the first time with the runner board. Tried to lay down the bunt, but it went well foul towards the Michigan dugout on the third base side.
And Michigan had that bunt attempt read all the way with Mana Morano playing halfway between third and home.
That's ahead 0-1 off the fouled bunt attempt from Bailey Bigler, runner at first base. Once again, Bigler shows bunt, but that one misses outside, even 1-1. Wolverines trailing Notre Dame 3-0 here. As the starting pitcher for Notre Dame, Caitlin Brooks, helping her own cause with a 3-run shot in the top of the first over the left field wall. Notre Dame looking for more here in the second with a runner at first base, nobody out in the inning. The 1-1 pitch from Betsa. Tapper over the head of Subject behind home plate, foul. Notre Dame perhaps trying to play some small ball here, just moving the runner over to second base.
And with 2 strikes, Monorano still playing in on the corner.
It'll be interesting to see if this is put in play, if Michigan goes for the lead runner. The 1-2 pitch, and they won't have an opportunity to test it as that one is low, and it's chased for by Bigler. Second strikeout of the game for Betsa to help her cause here in the top of the second.
And it looked like Betsa called on the old drop ball to get the strikeout there.
38 strikeouts on the year now for Megan Betsa through 22 and a third innings pitched on the season. And this tapper fielded by Canfield, not in time. Allie Wester beats out the throw from Canfield to Blanco. And the Fighting Irish have runners now at first and second with just 1 out in the inning. Notre Dame threatening again with Melissa Rockford getting ready to step in.
And Allie Wester once again just hitting it just fast enough to get it by a reacting Betsa, and just slow enough to where Canfield has to take too much time to run up on it and flip it. And the exchanges aren't taking very long.
Yeah, it's as cleanly fielded as it can be. Perhaps Canfield maybe just needs to play in a bit more, because that's the second slow roller she's fielded cleanly and fired fairly quickly. As you said, the exchange hasn't been the problem. It's been Notre Dame's speed plaguing the Wolverine defense. And the Irish with a 3-0 lead and a runner in scoring position once again. Melissa Rockford digging in, looking to increase the Irish lead. That one low over the plate. 1-1 now, the count.
And the first pitch from Betsa, something to note. Subject set up outside, and while it was a strike, it came over the inside part of the plate, and Betsa was not pleased with that pitch. The control on the fastball still an issue for Megan Betsa.
The 1-1 pitch from Betsa to Rockford. Runners at first and second for the Irish. That one off speed and chased.
And nice job by Betsa getting Rockford out on her front foot, way ahead of that one.
Looked from our vantage point like a curveball, and Rockford was waiting for a fastball to blast. And as you said, well ahead of that pitch. Betsa looking for a second strikeout of the inning. The 1-2. Swung on, well ahead of that one was Rockford into the netting in front of the Michigan dugout along the third base line.
A strikeout here would do wonders, because while nothing is really left the infield for the Fighting Irish outside of that home run, everything's been just in the right spot for Notre Dame to get on base.
Rockford was hit on her elbow pad in her first at-bat that sent her aboard on a hit-by-pitch. She digs in for the 1-2 pitch with runners aboard at first and second. That one low and in the dirt. Subject able to keep it in front of her, not allowing the Irish runners to advance.
Yeah, nice job by Subject there to keep it in front of her, like you said. Because Notre Dame, we've seen them get aggressive early on with the Carly Wester movement to third after the missed throw on the steal attempt.
2-2 pitch. Swung on right back up the middle. Ramirez fires over to first. Blanco can't hang on to it, and one run will score for Notre Dame on the missed throw as she is able to get in, and Rockford advances to second on the throw home from Blanco, and the Irish lead it 4-0. A rough start for Michigan in this game out in the field.
And Blanco maybe should have held on to that. It was almost impossible to get her out at home.
And Subject did a great job blocking the plate, but even then, as you said, it would have been needed to be a perfect throw, and that might not have been enough.
No.
But Ramirez with the poor throw over to Blanco. And Blanco, it will be an error charge to Ramirez on the throw.
And Blanco, while the throw was a little high, I don't think she did her shortstop many favors there. It looks like she might have extended a little early.
And I think she was too focused on trying to get the out rather than just securing the ball. Because if she makes that catch, sure, it's bases loaded, but you don't concede the run. And that's it. Once she gets locked in, you don't have to worry about that. But as you said, Ramirez, that's a play she makes in her sleep on most occasions, but things just not going the Wolverines' way here in this first game of two they'll play today. They return to the field at 3 o'clock to face off against NC State. They beat the Wolfpack in their opener yesterday night, 12-0. It's going the opposite way, though, for the Wolverines this morning. Notre Dame currently leading 4-0 with runners at second and third. And Morgan Reed stepping into the batter's box. The infield playing tight. They don't want to concede a run. Already down 4-0.
Reed with a hit already today. And she also came around to score on that Brooks home run.
Ahead in the count, 1-0. Betza just trying to paint that outside corner right now, but to no avail. Down 4-0, the 1-0 pitch, and that one catches the black on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 and after that strike.
That was a call Betza was getting a lot last night, the outside and inside corners, which allowed her to be so dangerous with the off-speed stuff.
Once she has a command of that strike zone, look out. But it's been a struggle for here early on. That one tapped foul off the bat of Morgan Reed. Notre Dame on top 4-0 here with one out in the inning. Top of the second, Betza giving up a run in each of the first two, including a 3-run shot from Caitlin Brooks, who awaits on deck. Betza ready in the circle for the 1-2 pitch. And that one, high heat, draws the strike.
Big strikeout.
Third strikeout of the game for Betza. But Caitlin Brooks, who had a 3-run shot in the first inning, has an opportunity to do so again with runners at second and third. And the starting pitcher for Notre Dame can really help her cause here if she can get this one to go. First pitch of the at-bat from Betza. 2 outs in the inning. That one well below the knees, 1-0.
And that was a huge strikeout, though, because now with 2 outs, the infield can play relaxed and just focus on getting the out at first.
No force outs in the field of play with runners at second and third. As you said, the only force out is at first. Subject able to hang on to that one. Seemed to be a miscommunication because it was right over the plate for a called strike.
And it looked like it bounced off the glove, and Subject used her non-gloved hand to keep that ball from getting behind her.
Whatever it takes to prevent Notre Dame from increasing their 4-0 lead here in the top of the second. 2 outs in the inning, 1-1 count. Runners at second and third. Betza fires on the inside part, and a little help there from Robert Guest, as I think that pitch went off his leg as it seemed to get past Subject.
Like you said, any means necessary to keep that ball in front.
And a pass ball here likely scores Notre Dame's 5th run of this contest. Betza readies the 2-1 with 2 outs and runners at second and third to Brooks. Slaps on and fouled into the netting behind home plate. And this would be a huge strikeout for Betza if she can get it and get herself out of this inning, which is seen her already concede 1 run.
And Betza really working the front of the circle, kicking up dirt. Maybe that plant foot maybe not landing how she wants it to.
2 outs in the inning. The 2-2 pitch on its way from Betza, swung on, foul. Brooks just ahead of that one, sending it beyond the third base line.
And while it is Brooks at the plate, Betza's right where she wants to be at 2-2, can bring any pitch, can even waste a pitch here if she wants.
Two-two pitch from Betza. Runners at second and third. She trails 4-0 on its way, missing the outside part of the plate. The Michigan dugout wanted that one, but I believe it was the right call from our vantage point, which is a good one right behind home plate.
Yeah, maybe the best view we'll get of home plate all season.
And now the count has run full with first base open, and Brooks already having a 3-run home run in the first. Betza doesn't want to be too conservative here. She wants to go after. Swung on into the dirt off the foul tip. And that one
Brooks
just
was fooled. She was way out in front of that change up there, but got just a little bit of that ball to shoot it straight down and keep it out of the mitt.
Yeah, very good defensive swing, as you mentioned. She wanted to jump on that one and just managed to battle it away. The payoff pitch once again, full count, 2 outs in the inning, and that one slap foul into the netting behind home plate. Brooks battling up there with the count full.
And it'll be interesting. I believe Brooks hit the home run in the first inning off of a fastball from Betza. So it'll be interesting if Betza puts her pride on the line and tries to gas one by, or gets tricky here and goes off speed.
And it appears Brooks wants that fastball. She's been ahead of the past 2 pitches, and she chases that one high and out of the zone for the strikeout. Megan Betza gets out of the jam with runners at second and third, but not before giving up the 4th run of the game. It's a Notre Dame lead of 4-0 with Michigan heading into the bottom half of the second, looking to get some run support for their ace.
And when you elevate that fastball in the zone up around the shoulder level, as soon as it leaves the hand, it looks so good. And
a really smart pitch from Betza too, because you could
a walk
see
isn't the worst thing in the world.
And you could also see, given those past 2 off-speed pitches, that Brooks was looking fastball, and when she got it, she was not going to lay off it. Betza, though, to her credit, the savvy veteran goes high, and as you said, I think in the batter's box, it looks like a beach ball when it's coming at your head. And Brooks hacked at it like she was going to drive it over the left field wall like she did in the first inning. And now Brooks returns to the circle where she kept the Wolverine bats at bay in the first frame. How can the Wolverines capitalize on her in the second?
Well, despite getting 2 runners on, outside the Peters hit into left field, the Wolverines didn't get good contact. They didn't really work the counts much. So the Wolverines, what they did against NC State last night was they just kept working the counts and waiting for the pitcher to make a mistake. And that's what the Wolverines have to do here, because no team capitalizes on mistakes better than this Michigan Wolverines team.
And Aiden Falk will be leading things off here in the bottom of the second. Notre Dame leading it 4-0 here at the ACC Big Ten Challenge at Dale Softball Stadium, Raleigh, North Carolina. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball. I'm Leo Glavin, joining me behind home plate, Dalton Pataki. A beautiful day for softball.
Oh, gorgeous.
Barely a cloud in the sky, nice and sunny and warm, but our understanding is that weather might be the same back home in Ann Arbor as well for this weekend. Aiden Falk ready to dig in. 429, her batting average on the year with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Falk readies for the first pitch of the second inning from Brooks in the dirt. 1-0 the count. The infield playing relatively deep. Falk known for her power more than her speed. That off-speed pitch, well framed, I would say, from our vantage point by Heidi.
I would agree with that one there.
Heidi painting a picture on that outside corner, and Robert Guest, a big fan. The count even at 1-1. Falk readies and sends that one foul.
An interesting infield alignment, like you said. Canfield known more for a power, but the corners are playing inside the bags and tight on those lines.
And Tara Blanco, who's the last batter for Michigan in the first inning, going to work now in the bullpen. Wouldn't be surprised to see her enter this game given Betts' struggles. The Wolverines trailing 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. Falk takes that one high.
Yeah, that
runs the count even at 2-2.
That one above the letters on the Michigan white unis.
Caitlin Brooks, though, has looked confident in this circle through the heart of Michigan's lineup. And Falk gets underneath that one. Camping under it is Marino, but she'll defer to a right fielder, Bigler, who lets it go on the diving attempt. And that one, I think, was just Marino probably should have made that call because she seemed to be in position. That was a lot of ground that Bigler had to make up in her diving attempt. It wasn't until her body made contact with the outfield grass before that ball jostled loose out of the glove. But that's a big break for Michigan, and they'll look to capitalize by sending out to pinch run Nikki Wald.
Yeah, like you said, Marino was out there and camped under it. But Bigler just...
And Bigler was playing deep. She wasn't
very deep.
Camped in.
And as an infielder, you're told when the outfielder calls you off, you
of
peel
course,
away.
yeah. It was well handled, I would say, by Marino. But I think really the question is, should Bigler have made that effort? Because as you said, and as I was expecting, Marino was well under it. But a big break for Michigan when they need it, down 4-0. And the speedster, Nikki Wald, takes over for Aiden Falk at first. And stepping in for the first time today, Lindsay Montemurano, who had a big home run yesterday to start the scoring for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and that home run really changed the complexion of the game yesterday because Betza was so locked in, and once Michigan can build a lead, it's tough to come back.
Yeah, she had the 3-run shot to start the scoring for the Wolverines yesterday, and if she can start the scoring for Michigan this morning, that would be absolutely huge. And it won't take much with Nikki Wald's speed at first. Wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan send her at some point during this at that either, but with Monty ahead in the count 2-0, no reason to get too aggressive. That one catches the outside part of the plate, a strike that Brooks needed, and she gets it. 2-1 on the count to Lindsay Montemurano.
And a lot of off-speed early out of Brooks today. The outfield playing deep for Montemurano, something to note.
Playing no doubles defense right now. Montemurano sends it towards the right fielder, and Bigler will make the catch with ease there. Fires it back into the infield, and it holds Wald at first base.
Nice piece of inside-out hitting there to go opposite field from Montemurano. Just hit it right at Bigler in right field.
And Wald not able to advance. And you mentioned how deep the outfield was playing, and it was good positioning for Bigler. She just took a few steps to her right and easily dealt with it and fired it back to Marino without advancing Wald. Now Alex Subject steps to the dish for the first time today and takes a first pitch ball ahead in the count 1-0. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Notre Dame on top 4-0. Nikki Wald at first, looking to run on contact. That one in the dirt, but a good block by Madison Heidi to prevent Wald from advancing.
Yeah, that one skipped onto the plate. And you don't know what can happen when it hits the plate.
Yeah, and it's a hot one, and they wetted the dirt as much as they could before, but it's playing like concrete right now. Some of these skips the ball is taking. That one low, and you give the catcher Heidi a lot of credit. She's trying to frame these pitches for her pitcher, as a good catcher does. But that one just too low to get the call from home plate umpire Robert Guest.
And I'd imagine a take all the way here from Subject.
The 3-0 pitch with a runner at first. And an easy take to make there, as that one well low, and runners now at first and second for the Wolverines with Courtney Richardson stepping in. She's batting .333 on the year, already with 5 RBIs early on in her 2017 campaign.
And Richardson should be pretty conservative at the dish here after seeing a 4-pitch walk from Brooks.
Notre Dame on top 4-0 here, bottom of the second. One out in the inning, runners at first and second. Richardson aggressive on that first pitch. Slaps it to the second baseman, Marino, who easily makes the catch. And I'm not sure that's what Carol Hutchins wanted. I think she had the same mindset as you, as she gives Richardson some information and perhaps some advice.
And that's exactly what Brooks wants after the 4-pitch walk, pushing a runner to second base to get a quick out easily in the infield there without letting the runners advance.
And perhaps the most difficult out in Michigan's lineup, Abby Ramirez now steps in that 9 spot that she has called her own the past few seasons.
And her speed is what makes her so difficult. Not much of a power hitter, but anything that gets on the ground, it has to be fielded cleanly to get her out at first.
Rockford at third and Bonamy at first, playing a good 4 or 5 steps in from their bases. And Ramirez has watched 2 strikes go by her. The slap hitter just looking to put it in play. You mentioned so dangerous if she can just get it between the foul lines. Because of her speed, runners at first and second, 2 outs in the inning. 0-2 pitch from Brooks, who looks to get through 2 innings of work without conceding a run. And Ramirez getting defensive, slapping that one into the netting, out of play.
And with 2 outs, any type of swing, the runners will be taking off. So that will take, unless a ball is tailor-made, hit right over the bag, that'll take any type of force out to where the infield will have to go to first.
Ramirez batting .353 on the year, still looking for her first RBI of the season. Takes a pitch high, double steal on. And I'd say a very heads-up play from Heidi as Michigan, some smart base running there.
What a job by
Subject, though, delaying her steal to second, trying to goat that throw to second base. And what a heads-up play from Heidi not making that throw.
What a call by Hutch, though, recognizing the infield in.
The 1-2 pitch tapped on foul from Ramirez over the head of Heidi. But a high IQ play from Heidi on that previous double steal for Michigan. But as you said, also credit Hutch for the aggressive calls.
The third baseman playing in, the shortstop too close to second base. There was no way anyone could have got to third to get walled out.
2 outs in the inning, runners at second and third. Ramirez looking to put this one in play, taps it to the shortstop. Reed, who fires it in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Caitlin Brooks getting some help from her defense. They've looked crisp through 2 innings of work. It's Notre Dame 4, Michigan nothing on this. The Michigan Softball Student Radio Network, WCBN, FM, Ann Arbor. Dalton Brooks has looked really good in the circle through 2. Even in trouble, she's had nothing but confidence.
No, and outside of that 4-pitch walk, she's been able to do what she's wanted with the ball today. And I can't give enough credit to Morgan Reed, the Notre Dame shortstop there. With the speed of Ramirez, she fielded it absolutely perfect. She charged up on it. You can't sit and let that ball get to you. You have to charge up on it, field it clean, exchange it clean, and throw an absolute rifle. Because
and what a luxury, though, it is to have if you're Brooks, to have that confidence in your infield where you know, even with a speedster like Ramirez at the plate, you don't have to throw it by her. You can let her put it in play as long as it's going to one of your infielders. That has not been the case, though, for Michigan. They already have 2 errors in this game. A very uncharacteristic start for the Wolverines. And now Betta will return to the circle. We saw Blanco get some activity in the bullpen during Michigan's last plate appearances, but Hutch sticking with her ace. And after a dominant performance yesterday for Betta against NC State, how can she get back on track here against Notre Dame after giving up 4 runs through 2 innings of work?
She just has to find command of that fastball. While each of her 3 pitches are all excellent, everything kind of goes around that fastball. When she can command the strike zone with that fastball, pick her corners, that's when the curve and the drop become just so dangerous. And Michigan, though, on the offensive end, they have to start capitalizing on these runner and scoring position opportunities.
To Betta's credit, the run last inning unearned. It came via a throwing error from Abby Ramirez to Tara Blanco, but she has given up 3 earned runs, 4 runs overall through 2 innings of work on 3 hits. Stepping in for Notre Dame is number 21, Carly Wester, the senior from Huntington Beach, California. She grounded out too short.
I believe Wester was hit by a pitch in her first at-bat. And then she stole second, and on the bad throw and catch from the Michigan defense, advanced to third.
Yeah, it went right off her back. Shows bunt for a called second strike. She laid off it. It was a bit high, about belt high, and just not one that for a bunt attempt is easy to deal with and put in play with Montemurano charging in from third. Montemurano a good 7 or 8 feet in front of third base. Blanco in about 3 steps from her bag. Sent right back to Betza, easily dealt with and thrown over to first in time. Megan Betza, good composure in the circle to make the defensive play.
And one thing I noticed early on this game from last night's game is when Betza got ahead in the count last night against NC State, she would mess around with the batter, maybe waste a pitch here, throw some off speed in the dirt there. When she's gotten ahead in the count with her command issues, she's been trying to go right after the batters and maybe not get the strikeouts, but at least induce ground ball or fly ball outs.
A great crowd on hand, especially for the Michigan faithful. A nearly packed house for a game that started at 10 a.m. and nearly all of them in maize and blue. A testament to just how good this program has been and how well they are supported. A ton of Michigan fans here in Raleigh, and I think as 2 Michigan students, it's good to see the alumni coming back and supporting their alma mater this morning. The Wolverines looking to send them into the afternoon happy, although they're down 4-0. Betza, though, getting back on track here in the third with 1 out in the inning. Going to work against Heidi for the second time today. Madison Heidi walked in her first at-bat. Betza paints the outside part of the plate to get even at 1-1.
And Madison Heidi, not a fan of that call.
Yeah, it was close from our vantage point, but Betza perhaps getting a sense of where the strike zone is and taking advantage now. The 1-1 pitch from Betza to Heidi. Swung on and missed.
And now
Betza starting to feel it. You see that smirk there. And perhaps she's starting to get locked in.
And it'll be interesting to see now, 1-2, will she, as she's done so far today, go right after Heidi or maybe string her along?
The 1-2 pitch. You betcha! Strike 3 blows by Heidi. And Betza showing another smile. And once she's locked in, good luck to Notre Dame. And it appears she may be finding it right now.
And Betza staying aggressive there in the circle, going right after Madison Heidi.
And now Bailey Bigler back at the dish. 0 for 1 on the day and 0 for 1 in this at bat. A swing and a miss.
High heat again there from Betza to get the swing and miss. Same pitch we saw the Brooks strikeout.
Bigler, a junior from Newton, Pennsylvania, batting 143 coming into today's game. The 0-1 pitch inside for a called strike. Betza going to work now on both sides of the plate.
And I would, if I were a betting man, I would bet fastball here out of Megan Betza. She's been electric with it this inning.
2 outs in the inning. The 0-2 pitch. 3 up, 3 down. She gets the strikeout. Megan Betza back on track here. Now can the Wolverines give her some run support as we head to the bottom of the third? But a positive sign. Carol Hutchins sticking with her ace, and it pays off in the third.
Yeah, I was just going to say what faith Carol Hutchins has in her senior.
Well-earned faith as well.
Yes, well-earned after a dominant performance last year over the course of the season. Dominant early on this year. And now she's getting back on that 12 strikeouts per game pace.
Now the question is, how does Notre Dame get to Caitlin Brooks?
Well, Michigan has to, like I said, just capitalize. We saw with the Richardson at-bat, just not a smart at-bat. Richardson, though, young player, maybe still learning the fine intricacies of the Hutch system.
Brooks has given up just 1 hit through 2 innings of work. And as you said, it was the first at-bat of the game after Michigan was down 3-0 thanks to a Caitlin Brooks 3-run home run for Notre Dame. It appeared the Wolverines would answer right back, and they will have their top of the order coming back up to the plate. It was Natalie Peters who got the first hit and only hit for Michigan. She'll head into the batter's box for her second at-bat of the game here in the top of the third, with the Fighting Irish leading Michigan 4-0.
And Michigan's goal this half inning, especially for Peters Canfield, should be to get on base for Kelly Christner. Christner's been the hot bat in the lineup to start the season. And if you can get base runners on, put stress on that defense, and then when Christner comes up with runners on, she has to make sure she gets herself in a favorable count.
Chuckle from Dalton as I put my sunglasses on. It's a hot one and a sunny one. The sun beating on us behind home plate. Michigan is the home side along that third base side, perhaps a bit more protected. I think that sun might be beating right down on the Notre Dame dugout along the first base line, but Notre Dame keeping their cool. They lead 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning.
74 and sunny, the weather.
Beautiful day for softball as Peters takes the first pitch of her second at-bat in there for a called strike at the knees. Peters had that tapper that stayed in the infield but was able to get to first. She was thrown out on a fielder's choice in the second at-bat. She sends this one to the shortstop, Reed, who fires it in time. And Notre Dame has been so good, particularly in the middle infield, getting Michigan speedsters even when they're able to put it in play, something that Michigan's not accustomed to.
Yeah, they fielded everything clean. Michigan, the speedsters make a living off of even just the slightest of bobbles. But credit this Notre Dame infield, absolutely stout.
1 out in the inning. Canfield, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first, takes an off-speed, I believe, a changeup right up the middle.
Yeah,
and looking fastball there.
We've seen Brooks in typical fastball situations throw that changeup across the heart of the plate. When will a Michigan hitter decide to try and jump on that?
Wolverines still have plenty of time left in this game, but at some point you expect them to get more aggressive. But it's just not mattering right now. Canfield blasts this one to the second baseman, Marino, who fields it cleanly. Everything working for Notre Dame, and it's a testament to the defense as well as Caitlin Brooks, who's giving her infield a lot to work with. Ground balls that have gone right to them, and they've made it easy work.
And
Michigan's balls in play.
A little flash of the leather there from Katie Marino, almost the unnecessary backhand as her speed almost overran that ground ball.
When you're right, you're right, and everything going the way of the Irish here through 2 2/3. Caitlin Brooks facing off against Christner, who perhaps the hottest player on Michigan's lineup right now, coming off that 3 home run performance last night. Ahead in the count is Christner 1-0. No runners aboard that one, well inside. Nearly got a piece of Christner. The count at 2-0, and perhaps Brooks not wanting to deal with the red-hot senior.
And Christner should maybe sit that change-up across the middle of the plate that we've seen Brooks throw a handful of times today.
At 2-0, I wouldn't be surprised if Christner is just looking for one pitch right now to try and drive. And that wasn't it. Off-speed high, 3-0, and now Christner can get very aggressive if she wants. And don't expect Carol Hutchins to give Christner any indication to take all the way. She knows her senior's savvy at the plate. And if she gets a pitch to hit, she will do so. The 3-0 pitch to Christner. Off speed and high, and Christner is aboard with 2 outs in the inning. Tara Blanco coming to the plate.
And Tara Blanco, a hit here might be the big one she needs to get right back on track. As you noted earlier, a slow start to the season for Tara Blanco. Coming into this game, only batting $188.
0 for 1 on the day is Tara Blanco. And no better time to turn around than the present. She does have 3 RBIs on the year. Runner at first, 2 outs in the inning. That one outside draws a pump fake from the catcher, Heidi, looking at first base. No throw given. Instead, it just stays at 1-0. Runner at first for Tara Blanco.
And Blanco should maybe sit until a strike gets thrown to her.
The 1-0 pitch from Brooks, who's now thrown 5 straight balls. Make that 6, in fact, after walking on 4 pitches to Christner. She's behind in the count 2-0 to Tara Blanco.
And I would expect Blanco to wait until she sees a strike, because if you can get another base runner on, just more stress on the defense.
That one appealing to Blanco. She takes a cut at it at the knees and sends it up and out of play over the Notre Dame dugout and stands along the first base line.
And that's not a bad pitch, though, to swing at. Fastball down at the knees, something you could take the opposite way, and that's what Blanco tried to do.
Blanco still ahead in the count, 2-1 with a runner at first base. Blanco taking that one high. She laid off it after starting to twist the torso for a moment. She took it, 3-1 the count. 7 out of the last 8 pitches have been balls out of the hand of Caitlin Brooks.
Brooks might get tricky here, and even though it's a 3-1 count, try to sneak change up.
Blanco was waiting for the off-speed pitch. She got it below the knees. Runners at first and second as Caitlin Brooks has pitched herself into a bit of a jam. And Carol Hutchins having a conference with the home plate umpire, Robert Guest, who's called a very good game here through 2 2/3 innings. Notre Dame on top 4-0 here, bottom of the 3rd inning. Megan Betza back on track, but she needs some help from her offense after giving up a 3-run shot in the 1st inning and then an unearned run in the 2nd inning off a throwing error by Abby Ramirez.
And the Notre Dame defense coming together inside the circle. While Brooks has given up 2 straight walks, a silver lining here, there are 2 outs. This Notre Dame infield has been spectacular early on.
Yeah, the only opportunity Michigan's had to get to the bases since their first at-bat of this game has been via walks, because when they put in play, as you said, Notre Dame is not giving up anything. Hayden Falk digs in with runners at first and second, her team trailing 4-0. She takes a first pitch outside, ahead 1-0.
Brooks right now struggling to find that strike zone, something we saw in the first 2 innings she had no problem with.
Brooks just really could use a strike here. The outfield playing deep. Falk sends this one down the left field line. Does it drop fair? It does not. Great diving effort by Wester. Not able to get there in time as that one was tracking just down that line, and Michigan could have used a break. They don't get it there. You give Wester a lot of credit just laying it all out there, even though perhaps an unrealistic attempt. You like to see it made anyway.
No, but that was a no risk, all reward play, because it's not like that ball would have bounced back into fair play.
If Notre Dame's head coach, Deanna Gumpf, is anything like my Little League coach, as Falk takes that one up and out of the zone days. Back in my Little League days. Nothing better than coming into the dugout with a dirty uniform. And the grass stains well earned there by Wester. Falk ahead in the count, 2-1 with 2 outs in the inning here. Bottom of the 3rd, runners at first and second. Michigan down 4-0. Falk taps that one foul behind home plate.
And maybe swinging at ball 3 there, as that one looked just inches off the plate.
And inside as well. And ahead in the count, she didn't need to be defensive. Chose to do so anyway. 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. Runners at first and second for Aiden Falk. The pitch on its way. And a defensive swing well dealt with by Falk. One of the most patient and disciplined hitters in the country.
And Falk here has to sit fastball and then react to any type of off speed, because the speed out of Brooks, she does have the arm to just blow one right by.
She had 2 RBIs against Notre Dame last year. Could sure use 2 here, if not 3. She'll get an opportunity to put at least 1 on the board. Sent into right field, out of the reach of Bigler. 1 will come around to score. Blanco heading for home. She will slide, beating the tag in time. 2 RBIs for Aiden Falk on a double down the right field line. A big hit for the junior from New York.
And on that ball into right field, just past the outreach glove of Bailey Bigler. She was so close to an opportunity to limit that to 1 run, but heck of a job there by Notre Dame to get the relay in, and that throw just off target, missing, as Blanco did a nice job sliding in past the tag.
And now the tying run steps to the plate in the form of Lindsay Montemorano, who had a home run yesterday. A home run here would be absolutely huge. Just putting it in play, though, could help the Wolverines' cause as that first pitch low. Aiden Falk at second had 2 RBIs against the Fighting Irish last year in the NCAA Regional. She gets a big 2 here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Wolverines pull within 2, Notre Dame leading it 4-2 with Lindsay Montemorano doing battle now with Caitlin Brooks. Monty slaps this one towards the shortstop. Well gloved. No throw to be made, though, from Morgan Reed. A good defensive play, though, keeping that in the infield, not allowing Falk to head for home. And runners on the corners, though, Michigan continuing to threaten.
It will be interesting to see with 2 outs. Does Hutch try the delayed steal here?
I would almost guarantee it, but as we saw from Notre Dame early on, Heidi, not one prone to making those mental errors, and Notre Dame certainly prepared for it, and I wouldn't expect much of a throw, if any. As the Wolverines tried some creative base running early on in this game, and they've played Michigan in the past. They know that in all likelihood, a double steal attempt is coming. Montemorano not going on that first pitch. That subject fouls out of play along the first base line.
And Falk, not the speediest of runners on third.
And nor is Montemorano known for her fleet feet. However, creative base running has been the Wolverines' calling card throughout Carol Hutchins' 33 seasons with the Maize and Blue. Subject takes a second pitch strike behind in the count, 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Runners at the corners, and this would be a big response from Brooks if she gets out of the inning, giving up just 2 runs. Currently sitting on top 4-2.
And there we saw her go with that changeup right down the heart of the plate.
A big 0-2 pitch here on its way. This one sent to the shortstop Reed, who fires across the diamond in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Subject goes down despite putting it in play, but the Wolverines get 2 back. They trail 4-2 to Notre Dame, but a good piece of hitting by Aiden Falk has plated the first 2 Wolverine runs of the day, and now Megan Betza will look to keep her solid form going. After a dominant 3rd inning, she heads back into the circle down 4-2 in the top of the 4th.
And I want to go back to that at bat for Aiden Falk. Excellent job. Gets 2 down in the count, 2-2. Spoils off a couple of really nice pitches from Brooks. And then just takes something inside, brings her hands in early, pulls it down that right field line, and was able to get 2 runs in. And now the story goes back to Megan Betza. Absolutely locked in that last half inning. Can she do it 2 in a row?
And after getting 2 runs back in her favor, she doesn't want to give anything back to Notre Dame. Michigan trailing Notre Dame 4-2. Still awaiting Betza's return to the circle. Here she comes out now. It was done a tremendous job behind the plate today for Notre Dame, part of that infield group that has really helped out Caitlin Brooks, and Caitlin Brooks helping her own cause as well. Her 3-run shot gave the Fighting Irish a 3-0 lead in the first. The throwing error from Ramirez in the second for the Wolverines, giving Notre Dame their 4th run. But Michigan gets 2 back in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Megan Betza back in the circle after her first scoreless inning of work. She'll have one more warm-up pitch. Throwdown complete. We're ready to get to work here in the top of the 4th inning. The Fighting Irish on top 4-2. Madison Heidi digs in.
Heidi is 0 for 1 on the day. 0 for 0 on the day. She was the one that drew that walk.
Walk and a run scored from Madison Heidi. Top of the 4th, here we go. A high pitch, a called strike though. Betza showing her command because from our vantage point, it looked out of the zone. Betza, though, knows that strike zone better than anyone at this point in the game.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was the first 2 innings, Megan Betza trying to find out how the home plate umpire is going to call this game.
He's been consistent. That one sent down the left field line, just a foot or two foul.
Almost a little Texas leaguer off the bat of Heidi.
Would have been a Texas League double, I think, if that fell in play, given how
Spin.
deep Courtney Richardson was playing. And yeah, as you said, the spin was tracking towards the bullpen along the left field line. That's ahead in the count 0-2, where she's so dangerous. Heidi has to get defensive here at the plate. Sends this one back into the field of play. Ramirez fields it cleanly, fires it across the diamond in time, and some defensive help for Megan Betza. A good response from Ramirez, whose last throw across the diamond was an error.
And what a tough play that was to field that ball. A little blooper off the end of the bat, and it took such a short hop, and that's always tough to corral in. You see it all the time where an infielder will charge, the short hop comes, and it'll kick off the heel of the mitt. But good focus there by Ramirez, and like you said, after the last throw going high, to focus, get it out of the mitt quick, and fire an absolute strike to Tara Blanco at first to get the out.
And we'll see Kimmy Sullivan in there for the first time today, looking for her first hit of the season. She's also drawn 2 walks. The senior from Greenwood, Indiana, went 0 for 3 against Betza in their meeting last year, including a strikeout. She'll send this one down the left field line. Is it deep enough? It'll hit the base of the wall. Sullivan heading for second, and she will slide in with a double. Kimmy Sullivan, what a way to get your first hit of the season. A blast down the left field line, reaches the wall for a 1-out double.
And that was maybe the first hit we've seen on a line drive that stayed in the ballpark.
And with Sullivan at second base, Allie Wester steps in with a chance to get her second RBI of the season. Runner at second, 1 out in the inning. Infield creeping in for the speedster Wester. And good alertness by Ramirez at short, with Monterano
Creeping up.
Ramirez responsible for covering third. No one really to hold the runner at second. The 0-1 pitch from Betza. Swung on and missed. A pitch that was difficult to get any contact on from Wester, and she missed everything on the outside part of the plate.
And
Betza dealing right now.
And with the slap hitters, working that outside corner is so dangerous for the pitcher, because if there is contact, it'll be an absolute number.
0-2 pitch, no contact drawn there, and it's another strikeout for Megan Betza.
And with 2 outs now, that Michigan infield can go right back to where they usually play.
Strikeout number 6 for Betza on the afternoon. 2 outs in the inning, runner on second, Michigan down 4-2 here in the top of the 4th. First pitch of the at-bat to Melissa Rockford. Misses, 1-0 the count. That one high at the letters. Betza looking to get through her second straight scoreless inning of work. The 1-0 pitch, right over the plate for a strike. And she's been very good at not missing anything when she needs a strike. And with her stuff, even those right over the heart of the plate, difficult to deal with her command of the strike zone. You never know where it's coming. The 1-1 pitch from Betza to Rockford with a runner at second. Inside, paints the black for a called strike.
And now it's anybody's guess as to what Megan Betza will do here. Does she go off speed to try and induce a swing and miss with that drop ball? Does she try and get a looking K with the curveball, or does she just blast one by her? 2
pitches to waste if she wants to. Ahead in the count 1-2. Expect her to stay aggressive. Looking for the third out of the inning, and she will waste one well high, about at face mask level.
That's the 3rd time today we've seen Megan Betza try to go strike out with the high fastball. Successful on one, the Brooks at bat last inning.
Let's see if Rockford's waiting on a fastball here. The count even at 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. Runner at second. Notre Dame leads 4-2. Betza delivers into the dirt. Running for third and getting thrown out is Sullivan. A great throw from subject to Montemurano, who applies the tag And the Wolverines defense helping out Megan Betza in the circle. Her second straight scoreless inning. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Michigan trails 4-2.
And while that wasn't a great ball to run on, Kimmy Sullivan committed the cardinal sin of base running and hesitated just enough for the catcher to fire a strike down to Montemurano.
And give subject a lot of credit. It was a pitch in the dirt. She fielded it cleanly off the hop and fired it with plenty of time. Montemurano very quickly applying the tag as Sullivan, even with the hesitation, it needed to be a perfect defensive play, and it was a perfect defensive play. That was made. Now Michigan will look to get back in this game with their bats. Aiden Falk with a 2-run double in the bottom of the third inning. 2 runs here will give the Wolverines back even in this game. And it's Katie Berrynot who will head into the circle. So it appears Deanna Gumpf has seen enough from Caitlin Brooks. The starter will finish with 3 innings of work, giving up 2 earned runs on 3 hits. Don't expect to see Michigan make that change in the circle. What do you make of the decision for Notre Dame, though, switching up pitchers?
Not sure if maybe head coach Gumpf is saving Brooks for later or wants to see what she can get out of Berrynot in a close game, as it's still early on in the season. But with the way Brooks has been cruising, she's essentially given up 1 big hit, and that's it.
That was enough to get pulled, evidently. Berrynot, a junior from Colts Neck, New Jersey, a fellow lefty along with Brooks. 2 of the 3 pitchers Notre Dame using this year, left-handed pitchers.
And with Richardson, Ramirez, Peters due up for the Wolverines, they can get a couple base runners on and bring up the heart of that lineup, the Christner, Blanco, Falk. Michigan could find themselves right back in this one.
Bonamy, who was checked out for her last at-bat, returning to the field of play back at first base. Berrynot, 4 appearances on the year, a 2-1 record. She has 3 starts to her credit, 20.1 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, 9 walks, and 13 strikeouts for the junior.
I'd like to take this moment to thank everybody listening back in Michigan or across the United States or across the globe for that matter. We appreciate all the support that you give us here at the station.
And Michigan will go with a substitution of their own to start this bottom half of the 4th inning. Taylor Swearingen looking for her first hit of the season, the junior from Anaheim, 0 for 7 on the year with 5 walks and 1 RBI. So certainly not a tough out despite her lack of hits. She's gotten on base 5 times via that walk, and she's ahead in the count 1-0. Often a good sign to send up a patient hitter who draws a lot of walks for the first at-bat for a new pitcher. Michigan down 4-2 here in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside, 2-0.
And I'm sure that no matter the outcome of this at-bat, Swearingen will be giving a lot of feedback in the dugout to her teammates. This is what she saw, what type of movement there is, how vicious it is.
Swearingen, an experienced junior in this replacement role. Ahead in the count 2-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2-0 pitch from Berrynot in there for a called strike. Taking all the way, though, was Swearingen.
And even if this at-bat results in an out, a long at-bat would go a long ways for the Wolverines.
Swearingen looking for her first hit of the season, ahead 2-1. She'd certainly take her 6th walk of the year. She'll send this one long and foul into the batting cages beyond the right field foul line.
Looks like the Golden Gophers, who were warming up in the cages, weren't very alert of the incoming ball.
Thankfully, falls harmlessly into the netting in some of these great facilities here at the Dale Softball Stadium and Complex. The 2-2 pitch, Swearingen taking all the way. Belt tie for a called strike 3. And a great entrance to the game for Katie Berrynot.
It looked like some sort of breaking ball there where it looked like the ball might miss the plate outside, broke back in last second and grabbed enough of that plate to send Swearingen back to the bench.
Berrynot with her 14th strikeout of the year. Abby Ramirez steps in as will the infield with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Notre Dame on top, 4-2. Ramirez looking for that slap hit, taking all the way for a called strike.
And Ramirez put it in play the last time at the plate, but Reed with a heck of a job there at shortstop. She's fielded everything cleanly so far today.
Ramirez 0 for 1 on the day. The 0-1 pitch from Barry, not well inside, nearly got a piece of the leg of Ramirez. Haven't seen any Wolverines reach via hit by pitch yet today, but they'll certainly take any base runners they can get.
That was about as close as it gets without hitting.
And I think if that was a bit higher, Ramirez probably wears that one. But at the knees, you don't want to take any chances. She'll slap this one just over the third base and in foul territory. The catch made by Morgan Reed for the second out of the inning.
Nice job by Reed shading over and recognizing that that's her play to make. No hesitation there out of the captain of the infield.
Natalie Peters, never an easy out. The leadoff hitter for the Wolverines steps in with 2 outs in the inning. The Wolverines down 4-2 to Notre Dame here in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Dale Softball Stadium.
Keep in mind, Michigan's 2 runs came on 2 outs last inning.
And they'll look to add a couple more 2-out runs here in the bottom half of this fourth inning. Katie Berrynot, though, the new pitcher for Notre Dame, who replaced Caitlin Brooks after 3 innings of work, has looked confident and is pitching a good game through 2 at-bats. Peters taking over the inside part of the plate for another called strike. Great command of the zone being displayed by Katie Berrynot. Berrynot looking to make it 3 up, 3 down after the Wolverines got 2 runs last inning. The 0-2 pitch. Peters just able to get a piece of it and foul it, nearly hit her in the hands on that choked up swing.
Yeah, moved late, and with Peters running at it, there wasn't a whole lot she could do. Did the best she could, though. And fights to see another day.
Berrynot still in control, ahead in the count 0-2. Wouldn't be surprised to see her waste a pitch here to try to get the sophomore Peters to chase. Tapper right back towards the circle. The throw not in time. Great hustle play by Peters to reach first on a slow tapper back to the circle. It was a good defensive play by Berrynot. Didn't seem to hesitate much, but I think it was just that spin on the softball that slowed it enough for Peters to reach aboard on the infield single.
Well, another thing to keep note of, Berrynot, a lefty, having to field that down the first base line, can't just flip it out of the glove, has to make a full rotation on the turn, and that's what was enough for the speedy Peters to get to first.
Runner at first, look for Peters to get aggressive. Canfield readies. Peters thought about it for a moment, will track back. That one low in the dirt, taken for a ball.
It'll be interesting to see how aggressive Hutch gets here with Peters on first, as we have yet to see an attempted throw down to second out of Heidi.
Peters appears urgent to get going. Canfield ahead 1-0, 2 outs in the inning. Pitch on its way. A good frame job, but not enough to warrant a strike call for Robert Guest. I've been very impressed with Heidi's ability to frame some of these pitches, trying to help out both her pitchers. Berrynot, though, behind 2-0 to Faith Canfield.
And she's trying on every one, too.
The 2-0 pitch from Berrynot to Canfield. This one high, getting out of the glove of Heidi. And that will advance Peters into scoring position. From first to second goes the sophomore.
And Hutch now doesn't have to worry about being overly aggressive with that steal.
Are you taking all the way if you're Canfield ahead 3-0?
Absolutely. Bring up Christner with 2 runners on, potentially.
Let's see if Berrynot can regain some control. Behind 3-0, 2 outs in the inning, though. The 3-0 pitch right over the heart of the plate, and it appears you were correct. Taking all the way was Canfield.
I might take again here. Really test that control.
Still ahead in the count 3-1. with a runner at second and Christner on deck. No more powerful hitter in Michigan's lineup than the on-deck hitter. 3-2 pitch well outside in the dirt. Peters will take third on a good jump. And after Notre Dame, we saw Kimmy Sullivan hesitate on her run to third. Her steal attempt, she was thrown out. No hesitation from the sophomore, and the fearless base running pays off. It was a good pitch to run on as well.
And that's base running recognition, or base running skill beyond her years from Natalie Peters, recognizing that that pitch was going to be in the dirt. And like you said, we saw that with Kimmy Sullivan. She read the pitch was going to be in the dirt, but the hesitation is what causes the out at third. Peters there, she said, you know what? I see it's going to be in the dirt. I'm fast enough to make it. I'm going to go. You can't fault me, or you can't fault Peters, even if she got thrown out there, for being aggressive.
Chance of Let's Go Blue from the large Michigan contingent that has made the trip here to Raleigh, looking to see the Wolverines take the lead for the first time today. The lead runner, or the lead run, I should say, is at home plate in the form of Kelly Christner with runners on the corners, 2 outs in the inning. The Wolverines trailing 4-2. Very not the first pitch of the at-bat inside for a called strike.
And Christner has cooled off a little bit from her 3 home run performance last night. She's 0 for 1 today, but did incite a walk in her last at-bat.
And the last thing Barry Knott wants to do is load the bases for Aiden Falk, or for Tara Blanco, I should say, who's 1 pitch away from getting off the schneid. The 0-1 pitch from Christner, a slow tapper fouled into the netting in front of the Notre Dame dugout. Barry Knott can get creative here now, ahead in the count 0-2 with runners on the corners for the Wolverines, who trail 4-2.
And I think Christner recognizes she missed a good pitch. She could have drove there. She just got ahead of it, pushed her hands down, maybe telling herself to calm down a little bit. And now you have to take this one pitch at a time.
The 0-2 pitch to Christner. Swung on, gets through the gap between first and second. 1 run will score. Running into third and getting into third safely is Faith Canfield, and the RBI single from Kelly Christner continues her hot start to the season and brings the Wolverines within 1.
And what an excellent job there by Faith Canfield, going first to third on a ball that a lot of times you'll see go fast enough into the outfield where Bigler could come up and make a play on it. But good base running all around today by the Wolverines.
Michigan testing the arm of Bigler. And with 2 outs, the luxury is you can run on contact, and you saw it done to great success there for Canfield. Runners once again on the corners for Blanco, the Wolverines trailing 3-4. The outside part of the plate, making enough contact with that pitch for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Tara Blanco.
And with second base open, will we see Christner take off here?
Would be surprised to see the Wolverines not attempt that double steal with good speed on the base paths. Barry Knott ready to fire the 0-1 pitch to Blanco. That one outside. The throw will be made, but a safe throw. Christner well ahead of that one, gets in standing to second. So runners now at second and third for Blanco, who's even in the count at 1-1.
And it looked like Hutch recognized that Notre Dame diagnosed the running situation and said, you know what, I'm not even going to try and send Canfield home. I'm just going to take second base with Christner.
Yeah, Notre Dame playing the chess match with Michigan there, trying to elicit, I think, the run home because they were ready for it. Blanco takes a hard cut at that 1-1 pitch, fouled into the netting. But sometimes you can see those throws to second, which is what Michigan was looking for, elicit an ill-advised steal attempt of home. None coming there. The Wolverines will gladly take it, though, with 2 runners in scoring position. Barry Knott, though, 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. She's already given up 1 run in the inning. 4-3 in favor of the Fighting Irish, with Tara Blanco at the plate for Michigan, taking in the dart. They count now even at 2-2, 2 outs in the inning. Difficult situation now for Barry Knott. She does have first base open.
And while you do want to go after Blanco, who is in a slump early on, you can't get too aggressive here and leave something over the heart of the plate, because if history stays true, Tara Blanco will come back.
The 2-2 pitch. Blanco taking that one well high. An easy take for the junior. The count full. The payoff pitch coming from Barry Knott. 3-2, 2 outs in the inning. Michigan trailing 4-3 with runners at second and third for Tara Blanco.
Christner will be running on contact, so anything to the outfield will almost certainly score her from second and give Michigan the lead.
The payoff pitch from Barry Knott to Blanco. On its way outside, and the bases are juiced. A great at-bat for Blanco. Gets the walk. Aiden Falk, who was responsible for Michigan's 2 runs in the last inning, heads to the plate with the bases juiced. The Wolverines had a grand slam yesterday, and Falk has an opportunity to give them their second of the weekend this morning.
And Rockford walks over from her third base position, maybe giving Barry Knott a few words of encouragement to try and get out of this jam, as Michigan looks to continue this in-game trend of scoring runs with 2 outs.
Bases loaded for Barry Knott, who just entered this inning and has found herself a lot of trouble trying to get out of it with a first pitch strike. 0-1 to Aiden Falk. The bases loaded. Michigan trailing 4-3. Falk already with 2 RBIs on a double last inning, has the bases juiced here in the bottom half of the 4th. A base hit here likely ties the game, if not gives Michigan the lead. The 0-1 pitch. Outside, where it was a called strike a moment ago. No strike call coming this time. The count even at 1-1.
And Falk's 2 RBI hit came on the inside part of the plate where she drove it down that line. We saw the first 2 pitches of this one go on the outside plate.
Michigan now out hitting the Irish 5-4. They still trail 4-3. Bases loaded, though, for Falk. And Barry not looking to go anywhere near the inside part of the plate. 3 straight pitches to the outside. She's behind 2-1.
And Barry Knott has to be careful here because she can't get to 3-1, because then she has to pitch right into that wheelhouse of Aiden Falk.
The Michigan fans trying to urge their team on. Falk trying to give the Wolverines their first lead of this game. Bases juiced 2-1. Falk slaps that one foul over the Michigan dugout. And this is a big pitch for Katie Barry Knott, trying to get out of this jam and keep Notre Dame on top. 4-3 the lead for the Irish. 2-2 count, 2 outs in the inning, bases loaded for number 2, Aiden Falk. The pitch on its way. Falk sends that one foul into the home dugout. And Falk so defensive as a hitter, and this will draw a short conference from the third baseman Rockford to her pitcher, Barry Knott.
And Hutch telling Falk just a little bit more, and that one gets down the line.
The Wolverines trailed 4-0 in this game. Now they trail 4-3. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning. Falk ready, sends this one back up the middle. Barry Knott gets a glove on it, flips it in time to Bonamy. Right place at the right time for the pitcher, Barry Knott, who gets out of the jam. She still gives up 1 run in the inning, but I think the Irish will take it. They'll head into the top of the 5th on top 4-3. As Barry Knott able to get the glove on the comebacker from Falk. It was a hard hit ball, but the infield defense continues to be a strength for Notre Dame.
Cat-like reflexes there, as that one looked like it might have slipped under Barry Knott's arm. She got just enough to knock it down, and not just knock it down, but knock it down in front of her to where she could make a play on it. Because how many times do we see where there's a comebacker right at the pitcher, goes off the mitt, and rolls to where an infielder can't make a play? And if that one gets through, that's certainly 2 runs, and Michigan finds himself back in the lead with a locked-in Megan Betza.
After a long inning of at-bats, Megan Betza returns into the circle where she's red hot, 2 straight scoreless innings after giving up a 3-run home run to fellow starting pitcher Caitlin Brooks, and then the throwing error responsible for the 4th run of this game for Notre Dame. But Betza's looked really good since those early struggles, and now with some run support to boot, she's just got to keep things going, and it almost seems imminent that Michigan will take the lead.
Yeah, especially when you saw the struggles of Barry Knott in that inning. Michigan hitters finally locking in. They can, like a shark, they can smell the blood in the water as they just keep chipping away. But one thing Michigan has to do on offense, they can't keep getting 2 outs right away to start the inning. Playing fast and loose with your outs is a good way to lose a ball game.
The throw from home to second, the final warm-up pitch delivered from Betza. Betza returns to the circle, her team trailing 4-3 to Notre Dame. You're listening to WCBN sports coverage of Michigan softball here at the ACC Big Ten Challenge in Raleigh, North Carolina. Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium on the beautiful campus of NC State. Barely a cloud in the sky, and the sun shining bright over this field.
Rockford coming up to the plate for the Fighting Irish. She's 0 for 1 on the day.
First pitch of the 5th inning to Rockford. Fouled into the netting. Rockford finished the last inning at the plate. It was the throw out of Kimmy Sullivan trying to steal third. That sends Rockford back to the plate.
And a interesting thing to note, Betza starts out the inning with a changeup over the heart of the plate. We've seen her mainly stick with the fastball to start at bats. Maybe the confidence coming back for Betza.
Rockford fouls this into the concession stand area behind the third base line. 0-2 pitch from Betza shortly coming.
Michigan defense playing in their normal positions.
Rockford slaps this one. Under it is Blanco. Just right next to the circle. She makes the first out of the inning.
And Tara Blanco just helping out her pitcher there. I mean, not exactly the easiest plays. It was straight up and almost straight into the sun. So good focus there by Tara Blanco.
I'm not sure I see sunglasses on any of the Michigan fielders. One out in the inning. Betza now going to work against Morgan Reed. Betza went just 4 innings last night against NC State into her 5th inning here in the first of 2 games Michigan will play today. That one high, Reed lays off it. The count in her favor at 2-0. Michigan will return to this same field later today, scheduled for around 3 o'clock. They'll face off against NC State, who the Wolverines run ruled yesterday, 12-0. However, they trail 4-3 to Notre Dame here in their first of 2 today. The 2-0 pitch from Betza to Reed. Tapper sent foul. Down the first baseline, Blanco will give chase, backhand it with the glove, and fire it back to her ace in the circle. Betza's given up 4 hits, 3 earned runs through 4 1/3. The 2-1 pitch from Betza to Reed. Outside, missing, 3-1. Betza wanted that strike call, doesn't get it. Montemurano encroaching from third towards home plate, looking for the opposite field slap hit.
And surprising call there, as that outside corner has been open for business so far today.
The 3-1 pitch from Megan Betza to Morgan Reed. On its way well outside and low. And that's a walk. Morgan Reed aboard with 1 out in the inning.
And now the ever dangerous Brooks stepping to the plate. She's going to remain in that 4 spot despite getting subbed out in pit for pitching. But Brooks with that 3-run home run in the first inning.
Betza, who had 0 walks against this Fighting Irish side last year, 2 now on the afternoon. Betza fires this one in the dirt, gets by Subject, who has to collect it near the on-deck circle in front of the Michigan dugout, and that allows Morgan Reed to advance to second, runner in scoring position on the wild pitch from Betza.
And Betza, 2 pitches right in the dirt in a row.
At this point, you think it's fatigue or just her trying to do too much?
I would assume just trying to do too much.
The 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike, felt high, and I think that was a mercy call there because it appeared well inside from our vantage point. Michigan, though, will certainly take it.
Betza maybe getting a little complacent with her stuff, and that could have led to the 2 in the dirt.
The 1-1 pitch from the veteran, who certainly earned a call in her favor or 2. That one low off the chest protector of Subject, and that allows Reed to advance to third. Caitlin Brooks has just stood in the batter's box and seen the runner out there for Notre Dame advanced from first to third on 2 bad pitches into the dirt. Subject perhaps overly aggressive blocking that one, and Betza was able to field it about 4 feet from her circle, but not before Reed got to third base. 2-1 pitch. Set into center field, a deep blast. The wind doing it no favors. It won't matter. A home run from Caitlin Brooks, her second of the game, and she makes it 5-3 in favor, or 6-3 rather, in favor of Notre Dame. Caitlin Brooks doing it all from the plate with her second long ball of the morning.
And Betza getting down in the count, tried to force feed something right over the heart of the plate, and Brooks is too good of a hitter to let that one go and blasted it to the deepest part of this ballpark.
Her second home run of the season, her second home run of the day.
Responsible for 5 RBIs.
And right after getting pulled in the last inning for Katie Berrynot, if it's Berrynot's game to finish, she's just been put back on track with some more run support. The lead doubled. Michigan trailing 3-6. Betza looking to respond once again to Carly Wester. The Irish on top 6-3. And that is a tough pill to swallow for Michigan, who had all the momentum. And just like that, off the bat of Caitlin Brooks, the momentum shifts back to the Fighting Irish.
And nothing in the bullpen for the Wolverines, but you peek over into that bullpen of Notre Dame and you see number 6, Rachel Naslin, the senior, warming up.
Notre Dame perhaps using all 3 pitchers after a disappointing result in their first game of this ACC Big Ten Challenge against Minnesota. Notre Dame looking to get a big win over the 10th ranked team in the country. The 0-2 pitch, defensive swing made by Wester, who sends it foul.
Good job by Wester there. It looked like Betza tried to go with the drop ball. And for the slap hitters, it's always tough because a lot of times that drop ball will drop right before the batter can get to it.
Carly Wester and the Irish with 1 out in the inning, top of the 5th, 2 runs coming off the bat of Caitlin Brooks, who has her second home run of the game. Outside pitch, just misses from Betza.
Nice frame job there by Subject.
Trying to induce the strikeout call from Robert Guest, but nothing coming. Betza sends that ball towards the Michigan dugout. Displeased with it. Get a fresh softball in there. The 1-2 pitch from Betza. On its way, tapper to Ramirez across the diamond in time for the second out of the inning. Ramirez has looked confident since that throwing error. And she's made 2 putouts. 2 outs in the inning here. Michigan trailing 6-3 to Notre Dame. And another substitution being made. Chelsea Purcell, a freshman from La Habra, California, batting .143 on the year with 1 hit, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
And with 2 outs in the inning here, Betza just looking to get out here, turn it back over to her offense, who has hit a groove recently, and try to get a couple of those runs back off the Brooks home run.
First pitch to Purcell is low. Second time we've seen MK Bonamy, the first baseman, pinch hit 4. And the second different pinch hitter for the Fighting Irish, Chelsea Purcell. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Pitch swung on and missed.
Looked like Purcell swung right underneath that fastball.
Betza checks her armband for the pitch call from the pitching coach, Jennifer Brundon. The 1-1 pitch. Underneath it once again, sending this one into the netting behind home plate, protecting us.
And with the way Purcell's been swinging, a high fastball here from Betza isn't out of the question.
1-2 pitch coming from Betza, looking for her third and final out of this inning. Trailing 6-3. She gave up a 2-run home run earlier to Brooks in this one. She'll get the strikeout, though, to end it. Michigan, though, after crawling back to make it 4-3, gives up a 2-run shot in the top half of the inning. And now the Wolverine Bats will be tasked with getting to Notre Dame once again. They've scored in each of the past 2 innings, but they're going to need 3 more to get back into this one. And it'll be Katie Berrynot back out there in the circle for the Fighting Irish.
And really, it's been 2 mistake pitches out of Megan Betza, that has put the Wolverines in this deficit. 5 runs coming off 2 home runs, both from Brooks.
Berrynot back in the circle. She got a lot of help from her starting pitcher, though. Caitlin Brooks with the 2-run shot in the top of the 5th. She's responsible for 5 Notre Dame runs in this game on 2 different home runs. It's rare you see a starting pitcher who can help herself with the bat, but
I mean, like you said, and the ones that you do see it, they're so good. You see over Big Ten opponent, Minnesota, Groenenwagen. She does the pitching duties and bats cleanup for the Golden Gophers.
Betza has put her offense in a hole. An uncharacteristic 6 runs conceded for her in this start. She came in to this game with an ERA of .41, giving up that 1 earned run against Florida, but she's been perfect outside of that. Not the case, though, this morning. 6-3 the score in favor of Notre Dame here in the bottom of the 5th. To lead things off for Michigan, it will be Lindsay Montemurano.
And Monty, 1 for 2 on the day. Looking to push that to two for 3. And if she can get on early, that'd be a big bonus to the Wolverines, who have gotten all their runs thus far with 2 outs.
Montemurano digs in, her team trailing by 3. They need runners on base. The first pitch of the at-bat right over the plate for a called strike. Montemurano appeared to be taking all the way.
And we saw the Michigan batters start to have success once they started working the Notre Dame pitchers more.
The 0-1 pitch from Berrynot to Montemurano. Swung on, foul. Into the netting behind home plate. Kimmy Sullivan now out there in right field for the Fighting Irish, placing Bailey Bigler. The 0-2 pitch wasted, trying to get Montemurano to chase outside.
And while I'm not sure if Berrynot throws a curveball or not, it looks like all her pitches have natural movement on them. Moving, it would be from left to right across the plate.
Montemurano will look to capitalize on one of those. She'll send the outside pitch back up the middle, trying to leg it out, unable to do so. Great defensive play from the shortstop, Morgan Reed, who's been unflappable today.
And Morgan Reed recognizing who the runner was there, Montemurano, not the fastest player on this Michigan team. She was able to let it take that extra Sunday hop right into her mitt and then fires a strike over to the first base.
Alex Subject back in there. Wolverines trailing 6-3 here in the bottom of the 5th inning, starting to run out of outs. They're down to their final 8. Subject swings at the off-speed pitch well ahead of it. Behind in the count 0-1 as we see Katie Berrynot starting to settle down after giving up a run last inning. The 0-1 pitch to Subject. That one low, missing the zone for an even count of 1-1.
Nice frame drop there by Heidi, picking that one up off the dirt and not moving a whole lot to make it look like it might have just grabbed the bottom of that strike zone.
So subtle with her framing. And she's gotten a few calls in her pitcher's favor, just not that one. The 1-1 pitch from Barry Knott to Subject. Swung on and missed out of the zone, once again off speed. And as you said, that movement towards the outside part of the plate for these right-handed hitters, hard to lay off.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come in there, and it looks like, especially that pitch, it looked like something that Subject might have been able to do something with if she tried to take it to right field, but it moves just enough out and down to where it induced the swing and miss.
The 1-2 pitch from Subject sent right back to the shortstop. Reed fires it across with plenty of time to spare for the second out of the inning. Morgan Reed having herself a day at the shortstop position.
Absolutely rock solid. And now with 2 outs, do the Michigan Wolverines have another little rally in them to scratch a couple across the board?
Courtney Richardson in there for the Wolverines. As you said, all 3 of their runs have come with 2 outs. That first pitch missing well outside, 1-0.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe the runs that have come across have all reached by walk.
Ahead in the count 1-0 on her way to a walk. Richardson will take the second pitch in the dirt, 2-0. And the Wolverines have had no success putting the ball in play for the most part, especially in the infield. Notre Dame has given up nothing even to the speedsters that Michigan has throughout their lineup. Richardson, though, ahead in the count 2-0. Barry Knott fires. This one high, 3-0.
And
Richardson perhaps ready to take all the way.
And Heidi may recognize the 2-out walk situation as she walks out there and quick little conference with Barry Knott.
Abby Ramirez on deck. Courtney Richardson ahead in the count, 3-0. 0 for 1 on the day. 2 outs in the inning here, bottom of the 5th. That one low. And a 4-pitch walk for Courtney Richardson. Every run Michigan scored has come with 2 outs, and they have a chance to add to that 3-run total with Abby Ramirez at the plate. Richardson aboard at first.
Might be a good idea here for Ramirez to take until she gets a strike, because the Michigan hitters, once they get ahead early and start working the pitcher, that's when they can really do some damage.
Richardson thought about going for a moment on that spiked pitch. As you said, Ramirez, the slap hitter, appeared to be taking all the way, rightfully so. She's ahead in the count, 1-0. Katie Barry Knott has had runners aboard in each of her first 2 innings of work. Ramirez once again taking, and not able to make the clean catch was Heidi. Outside pitch, 2-0. 6 straight now. Balls out of the hand of Barry Knott.
And don't expect a swing out of Ramirez for at least 2 more pitches.
Ramirez readies for the 2-0. This one, a tapper, fielded cleanly and fired from Rockford. It gets by Bonneman into right field, and Richardson will be held up at third. A good call from Carol Hutchins as the throw from Kimmy Sullivan was on a rope to the catcher Heidi, but the runner's now at second and third. Ramirez reaching on the throwing end.
And the first hiccup of the day out of this Notre Dame infield, leading to runners on second and third. As Rockford, she cleaned it up on the easy hop, and it got to her quick enough to where she could have set up to make the throw, but maybe pressured there by Ramirez's speed and just threw one that was a little off.
Can the Wolverines?
Bellamy couldn't get to it.
Can the Wolverines, with this, the second error coming from Notre Dame in this game, take advantage of the extra out they've been granted? That would have been the 3rd out of the inning, and it appeared that Rockford had plenty of time to make that throw, but Ramirez, the speed, puts pressure on the infield, and the third baseman, Rockford, not able to make the clean throw. Runners now aboard at second and third with Natalie Peters at the plate. The infield playing well in for the speedster.
And more speed to maybe force a throw here out of the infield.
Peters will send this one a towering one, but Marino able to get under it at the second base position. Michigan not able to capitalize with two runners in scoring position. They will leave them aboard. And Notre Dame and Katie Berry not getting out of the jam once again. The Fighting Irish lead it 6-3 as we head to the top of the sixth.
Peters got just underneath that ball. As if she could have brought the bat head a little bit up, could have actually drove one.
And Michigan, which took advantage of every mistake last night, it's really been a story of missed opportunities, though, for the Maize and Blue this morning. Megan Betza will return to the circle, poised to go the distance after giving up her second home run of the game to Notre Dame starting pitcher Caitlin Brooks last inning. The Irish lead 6-3, the momentum in their favor, and Betza really needs to get a clean inning, get that
confidence back,
and get that lineup, more importantly for Michigan, back to the plate. They have 6 outs to work with in a 3-run deficit. Notre Dame entering this contest at 3-3 could really use a victory against a top-ranked program. Michigan coming in at 10th in the country. And these wins certainly matter, particularly for these two conferences that don't have a lot of highly ranked RPI teams up and down their conferences. And Notre Dame will have limited opportunities to get wins against an RPI ranked program like Michigan.
And that would go a long way for Notre Dame as they're looking to make their 19th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance, as they've had a storied career of success here at Notre Dame softball. Not a single losing season in the program's history.
Both these teams with stacked schedules to start the year. Notre Dame still playing UCLA. Of course, they get both Michigan and Minnesota. They fell to UCLA 8-0, I should say, in a run rule victory in their first weekend. 8-0 through 5. They're on their way, though, to a victory against Michigan today. They lead 6-3 with Megan Betza back in the circle, getting a first pitch strike to start this inning to Katie Marino. Oh, one pitch high.
Michigan outfield playing pretty shallow.
1-1 pitch. That's it to Marino. Outside and high. 2-1. That's just not sharp in this early one. Leah Crockett once again up and active in the Michigan bullpen. That even might be Minnesota's starting pitcher. Getting warmed up for her game this afternoon. It's in all likelihood Betza's game to finish. And that means Tara Blanco you'd expect to see in the circle for the second game this afternoon at 3 o'clock, a game we'll have for you on WCBNsports.org when Michigan takes on the host of this ACC Big Ten Challenge, NC State. Wolverines won 12-0 in their opener yesterday, and they strike out for Betza, number 8. She gets Katie Marino to go down swinging.
And Betza really take away 2 bad pitches, and she's having an excellent day today.
One out here in the top of the 6th. Michigan down 6-3. That pitch outside, just missing the black of the plate. Madison Heidi takes the ball. The 1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike. Belt high right over the plate. Michigan trails 6-3 here in the top half of the 6th inning. Betza readies for the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, belted, but well out in front of it is Heidi, sending it into the shrubbery along the home base bullpen area. That's ahead now, 1-2.
That's so far today is the primary strikeout pitch has been the fastball. I would fully expect her to go with that again today. Or, excuse me, right now.
The 1-2 pitch from Betza to Madison Heidi. In there, strikeout number 9 for Megan Betza. And as you said, just 2 poor pitches really in this game could define it. But outside of that, she's been very good. Looking for double digits
Once
in
again,
strikeouts.
Before coming into this game, averaging 12 strikeouts per game.
Now making her 4th appearance of the year. She's got 45 strikeouts. Unbelievable numbers. Looking for her 10th of the afternoon. Betza gets the inside pitch called for a strike. Going to work on Kimmy Sullivan.
And all 3 pitches were working last night, and nothing seemed to be working early on. But since the 3rd inning, that fastball has been the go-to pitch for Megan Betza.
The 0-1 pitch. The Big Ten pitcher of the week fires it high and missing. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Betza to Sullivan. Michigan trailing 6-3. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Outside for a ball. 2-1.
Kimmy Sullivan had that double down the left field line in her first plate appearance today.
Two-one pitch, called strike, 2-2. Sullivan taking all the way, and she hasn't really been given an opportunity to hit any of these pitches.
No, the 2 strikes that have been called have been on the corners, and expect another fastball out of Betza here. Maybe high.
Looking for strikeout number 10 in her start. Swing and a miss, but
it might have
contact. Yeah, it looked like it hit the hand on the swing. I was going to say no contact made with the bat, but it was a foul. She shakes the right hand, so it certainly made contact with the hand protected by that Under Armour batting glove.
Third base coach now having a few words with Kimmy Sullivan.
The count 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. Betza going for her 10th strikeout of the afternoon now as we've crossed that noon point here in the morning. A high heater gets her to chase. Sullivan goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 10 for Megan Betza on the afternoon, and now Michigan with 6 outs left in their barrel, trailing 6-3. They've got to get hot in a hurry.
And once again, Michigan just not doing anything until 2 outs left in the inning, leaving little room for error.
We head to the bottom half of the frame, and it will be Katie Berry not staying out there, and she's been nearly unhittable for Michigan in her 2 innings of work. Wolverines looking to avoid their 3rd loss of the season. They fell to USF and Florida last weekend at the tournament on the campus of the University of South Florida in Tampa Bay, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. After dominating NC State yesterday 12-0, it's been a story of struggles, and a lot of the blame has to be given to Caitlin Brooks, who's had a phenomenal performance. She was dominant in the circle, giving up just 2 runs, and she's also responsible for 5 Notre Dame runs, including 2 via the long ball.
And while we questioned it at the time, what a coaching decision by head coach Gump for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. After giving up 2 runs, Brooks, who was virtually untouchable, she said I guess she's had enough, and in comes Barry Knott, and Barry Knott's been untouchable. So masterful coaching here out of that Notre Dame dugout.
Notre Dame, these 6 runs, a season high for the Fighting Irish. Michigan really needs their bats to come to life to try to help out their ace, Betza, who's pitched a very good game, saved 2 pitches. And she certainly wishes she could have back. Not how the game works, though. And Brooks has made Betza pay for those 2 mistakes with 2 home runs and 5 runs to her credit.
But Canfield, Christner, Blanco, Falk, the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters potentially coming up for the Wolverines. That's as good a spot as any for Hutch's team to get going.
And you don't want to say it's Michigan's last good opportunity, but with the heart of the order coming up, Michigan looks to capitalize. Start of the bottom of the 6th inning, Michigan down 6-3. Very not fires, and Canfield will get this rally started. Slaps one into right field. She'll head for second, hesitated for a moment, but she'll still get in there, sliding with a leadoff double, just what the doctor ordered for Michigan.
And the reason why she was able to take second there, looked like Kimmy Sullivan's cleat might have got caught up a little bit in the turf, causing her to stumble slightly. And that little bit of a little stumble out of Sullivan allowed Canfield to go all the way to second. Here comes Chris.
Good speed from Canfield on the base path as well, noting that stumble and then making the turn for second. Runner in scoring position for Kelly Christner. The tying runner on deck in Terra Blanca. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at second. Christner takes the first pitch low for a ball. And just how aggressive does Barry not get against Christner, who, as has been noted time and time again, had the 4th time in program history 3 home runs yesterday night against NC State.
And she has an RBI today to her name, so maybe looking to pick up one more.
Would certainly help the Maize and Blues cause. That pitch well outside as well. Christner ahead in the count 2-0. Barry Knott's got to be careful here to not give her something too appetizing.
No, and with first base open, Christner just so hot. Terra Blanco hasn't been hitting the greatest. A walk here isn't the worst thing in the world for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
First base open with Canfield at second. That one well inside, nearly tapping the shoelaces of Christner.
Looked like Christner might have tried to lean in just a little bit, almost just take a glancing blow there.
And as we talked about last time she was ahead in the count 3-0, expect her to still have the green light for the savvy senior.
When you're swinging it like this, there's no reason to not have the green light.
The center fielder digs in.
Naslund.
Ahead in the count 3-0. And that one just missing the outside part of the plate as the strike zone tightens there on a 3-0 pitch. You usually see that strike almost automatic if it's anywhere near the plate. I thought Notre Dame may have had a good case, but Barry not given the benefit of the doubt. Runners now at first and second for Terra Blanco, looking to break out of her slump.
And Naslund back in the bullpen, warming up for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Barry Knott gets a sign of support. Glove taps from her infield mates. Terra Blanco, the tying run now at the plate. Runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Barry Knott goes to work against Blanco. The first pitch of the at-bat high and inside. A little jerk back of the shoulders from Blanco helps elicit the ball call.
And Blanco might not be swinging until she sees a strike. The walks we've seen today, a lot of them of the 4-pitch variety.
The 1-0 pitch to Blanco. That one high and outside, and Barry Knott, we've seen in each of her first 2 innings struggling with her command, and those struggles continuing here in the 6th at about the worst possible time.
And there is a silent energy right now in the stadium with what can Michigan do here to get back into this.
And that one outside and low. 3-0 the count to Blanco, taking all the way here as things perhaps unraveling for Katie Barry Knott. As you mentioned, the Michigan crowd perhaps a bit tense. The only noise really coming from these 2 dugouts. Notre Dame trying to urge on their reliever in the circle. The Michigan dugout perhaps trying to goad her into yet another walk. And that one low. And no mercy call coming from the home plate umpire, Robert Guest. The base is loaded.
And it looks like Naslund will be coming into this game as I see her move from the bullpen into the dugout.
An unenviable situation if she does indeed make her entrance. The lead for Notre Dame, 6-3, but the base is loaded. Nobody out in the inning, and Aiden Falk, who's responsible for Michigan's first 2 runs of this game, will head into the batter's box with the bases loaded once again.
And we saw her come in last night, but Gonzalez will take over Tara Blanco's spot at first base. Naslin coming in today has appeared in 3 games so far this year, has 1 loss and a 3.28 ERA.
Aiden Falk, 1 for 3 on the day with 2 RBIs coming via that 2-run double. And the relief pitcher, Rachel Naslund, she had the loss in their meeting last year. She won't be tagged with the loss today if Michigan's able to pull off the comeback. The senior from San Diego making her 4th appearance of the year, 0-1 on the year. 10.2 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 1 save with a 3.28 ERA for the California product. And a tough role to come in with Aiden Falk readying. And we've seen Michigan at times take advantage of a fresh pitcher coming in. It's not always a detriment for the Wolverines, even though they don't necessarily know what they're going to get. Although a big boost for Aiden Falk. She's gone up head-to-head against Naslin. She did it last year.
And a bad end to a good day for Katie Berrynott. Berrynott had a nice day keeping the Wolverines at bay and off the board, but to end on 8 straight balls and 2 walks to load the bases.
And Michigan's had their opportunities in this game. They just haven't capitalized on them.
Because most of them have came with 2 outs. This time the Wolverines getting ahead early, bases loaded, nobody out, down 3. Have to at least scratch across 2 here.
The leading run steps into the batter's box. Aiden Falk readies. She does have 1 home run on the year. A home run here would be a grand slam and give the Wolverines the lead. Bases loaded for the second relief pitcher of this game, Rachel Naslin, going to work against Aiden Falk with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Notre Dame on top 6-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Falk readies. First pitch of her at bat takes a big cut at it and misses everything. You can feel the wind from up here. Naslin ahead in the count 0-1.
And a high fastball there. Great pitch to start out with. You know Falk is going to try and jump over something she likes. And like we've talked about before, as soon as that fastball comes out of the hand at the letter level, it just looks so appetizing.
Bases loaded. The leading run at the plate. 0-1, another big cut. And Naslin blows it by Falk.
Another high fastball. Now Falk has to calm down here because a strikeout doesn't help out Michigan's cause at all.
Bases loaded. 0-2 count to Falk. Nobody out in the inning. Michigan trailing by 3 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Naslin looks at her armband for what pitch is being dialed up. Ahead in the count 0-2. The reliever looking for a big strikeout. Falk readies for the pitch. And she will miss it underneath it. Naslin goes high again for a huge strikeout. The first of the inning.
3 straight high fastballs for 3 straight swing and misses. And Hutch looks very upset on that third base line.
Falk extremely aggressive, perhaps trying to do too much, trying to get all those runs back with 1 swing of the bat. She never made contact and goes down on strikes.
Interesting note, Brooks is back warming up for the Fighting Irish.
Montemarano digs in with the bases loaded. 1 out now in the inning and takes one high.
High fastball can't get Montemarano to chase this one.
You have to expect Monty was looking for it after it got Falk on 3 different occasions. 1-0, the count for Rachel Naslin. Entered this game with the bases loaded, nobody out. She's already got 1 out on a strikeout. Monty taking that one at the knees for a called strike, 1-1.
Naslin coming out here just throwing absolute gas, 5 straight fastballs.
Monty looking to tee one up with the bases juiced. Just needs to put this one deep to get a run across the plate for Michigan with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. The Wolverines trailing 6-3. Bases loaded, 1-1 pitch. Out in the dirt, a good defensive play by Heidi to keep it in front of her and prevent the Wolverines from plating a run on a wild pitch.
And
Canfield at third base. Christner at second.
The more fastballs Montemarano sees, the more she can time it up.
Gonzalez pinch running for Blanco at first. Bases loaded, 2-1 count in favor of Montemurano. Off speed, and she wasn't ready for it. Buckles the knees for a called strike. 2-2.
No, an excellent pitch there by Naslin, and great call out of the Notre Dame dugout, as nothing but fastballs, then to just throw a little curveball in there that just breaks just enough.
The count even at 2-2. 1 out in the inning. A strikeout absolutely huge here if Naslin can get it. The base is loaded. Monty takes a cut and gets nothing on it. A strikeout for Naslin, her second in relief. And she's 1 out away from ending the Michigan threat, their best of the game. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. Now it's bases loaded, 2 outs. Alex Subject trying to get the Wolverines back. They trail 6-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Perhaps the last opportunity for the Wolverines. They still have 4 outs to play with, but with the bases loaded, nobody out, they need to play to run here. Naslin fires the first of this at-bat, missing love. 1-0.
And you can almost feel the confidence coming from that circle on the field as Naslin has gotten 2 strikeouts, not even forcing the defense to make a play.
Naslin dealing right now. She's locked in looking for her second save of the season. Bases loaded, 1-0 count to the Subject. This one blasted up high. It'll be camped under. The center fielder coming to make the play. Carly Wester ends the threat. A great relief appearance. Rachel Naslin goes 3 up, 3 down in relief. Comes in with the bases loaded. Michigan can't play a single run. And Notre Dame has all sorts of confidence heading into the top half of the 7th inning.
And Rachel Naslin, absolutely perfect, doing the almost unthinkable. Bases loaded, nobody out against this Michigan lineup and going 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts in there too.
And that's been the story of Michigan this morning, just not able to capitalize on those opportunities to not get a single run across the plate with nobody out and the bases loaded. Has to be disheartening for that dugout.
Yeah, and that even if Michigan didn't get the lead there, but could scratch across 1 or 2, it carries a little bit of momentum into that 7th. But another excellent pitching change out of Deanna Gumpf, and she's been winning the chess match against her counterpart, Carol Hutchins. And that's a matchup that the Michigan coaching staff doesn't lose very often.
Gumpf has called a masterful game out of the bullpen. Each relief appearance we've been skeptical of, and each one she's made us look foolish. But none better there than Rachel Naslin coming in with the bases loaded and nobody out, getting out of the jam with 2 strikeouts in a pop out to center field. Betzer returns to the circle, her team trailing 6-3 as it appears the Wolverines destined to fall to 4-3 on the year if they fall to Notre Dame. A loss that would be tough for the Wolverines to swallow. They will face this same Fighting Irish side at this same time tomorrow, 10 a.m., the scheduled first pitch on WCBNsports.org before me and you have a long drive back to Ann Arbor. We'd come down here hoping, and I would say expecting to see Michigan go 4-0 on the weekend. The Fighting Irish had other plans after falling to Minnesota yesterday. It's been all green and gold here this morning. The Irish on top 6-3. Stepping back in for Notre Dame, Allie Wester.
And imperative that Betza goes 1, 2, 3 here, because Brooks sitting there in that 4 spot in the lineup. Don't want to face her again today.
Wester looks at the third baseman, Montemurano, who's well inside of third base, nearly even with Betza. The slap hitter takes a ball low and outside, 1-0.
All of the infield in. The deepest infielder maybe 60 feet away from home plate.
The 1-0 pitch to Wester. Slapped over the head of Montemurano. That'll get down the third base line into the left field corner, and Wester will get in with a stand-up double, as it was bobbled a few times by Courtney Richardson before getting it thrown in. Even if she fields it cleanly, though, that far into the left field corner, it was going to be an easy double for Allie Wester. And Notre Dame now looking to increase their lead. They lead at 6-3. Can never afford too many runs against this usually potent Michigan offense. However, they haven't looked at today.
That double is just huge in so many ways, not only just getting a runner on in scoring position, but right now it takes the double play out of Rockford's hands, and it almost guarantees Brooks coming back up to the plate one more time.
Double for Ellie Wester officially. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Michigan down 6-3. Megan Betza looking to finish the complete game and give her team a chance to come back. They currently trail by 3. She doesn't want to give Notre Dame any more run support. A foul tip on the bunt from Rockford, trying to move the runner over. Do you question the decisions here? I'm not sure you can, given how well Deanna Gumpf has managed this game.
No, I was actually just going to praise her. Getting that run over to third, it's worth sacrificing it to go up by 4, that grand slam cushion in the 7th.
Especially given Michigan had the bases loaded last inning with no outs and didn't get a single run across. Rockford takes a big cut at that one, gets underneath it, 0-2.
And now that takes the bunt right out of the question. Maybe Gump thinking Rockford could catch the Michigan infield off guard with a first strike bunt attempt.
0-2 pitch from Betza on its way to Rockford. Swung on, sent foul down the third base line. Betza, some clear signs of frustration. 2 poor pitches that Richardson has sent out of the yard. And that one sent into center field. Tracking under it is Christner, who makes the catch, trying to get out the lead runner in time on the throw. I believe the out was the call made. Montemurano making hard contact. They think her leg may have collided with the batting helmet.
Not sure what the call was, actually.
It looked like the arm and the fist went up to indicate the out.
And that'd have been a heck of a play by Kelly Christner.
And the out confirmed as they check with the umpire across the diamond.
What a play by Kelly Christner.
What a throw.
Realizes she came in a little bit, backed up just enough to where as soon as that ball came down, she could get a running start at it, and an absolute strike from center field to Montemurano to catch the speedy Wester.
Wester, perhaps the best base runner on this team. And it was a deep fly ball. Granted, it was on a line, but it was a deep fly ball, and Christner played it perfectly, fires a strike, and Montemurano quickly applying the tag. Gets Betza out of a jam. Now the base is empty with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. An inside pitch gets the called strike despite the turn of the lead shoulder from Morgan Reed.
And that play might be just enough momentum that Michigan needs now to get back after the bases loaded, nobody out situation.
We certainly both hope so. 0-1 pitch coming from Betza to Reed. Slapped. Betza lays off of it, fielded by Canfield, who makes easy work of it across to Blanco, and that will do it for the top half of the 7th inning. We'll see if that defensive play from Christner on the catch and then throw out of the lead runner Wester at third is enough to spark a Michigan comeback. They had the bases loaded and came away with nothing despite having no outs with the bases juiced last inning. They trail 6-3 here as we head to the bottom of the 7th, and Rachel Naslin gave Michigan absolutely nothing to work with in her first 3 outs. She's got 3 more to get to earn the save.
And while Naslin pitched that perfect relief appearance, only saw 1 off speed out of her. So the Michigan batters can look to tee off on that fastball. It'll be Richardson, Ramirez, Peters, unless Hutch has any pinch hitting ideas. That's the way it stands now as we see her talking with the home plate umpire.
And expect Michigan to get creative with their 3 outs left.
We see Ramirez come to the on-deck circle. Who will come out and face Naslin first?
We see putting her batting gloves on, getting ready. It appears Michigan will indeed put a new hitter out there in the form of Amanda Vargas. So Courtney Richardson out, Amanda Vargas in to face off against Naslin.
And Vargas, a junior, a big moment for her if she can jumpstart this rally here. It's last call for the Wolverines.
Michigan with one last opportunity, 3 outs away from falling to Notre Dame. They trail 6-3. What would be a very disappointing performance against the Fighting Irish. Vargas 0 for 2 on the year. In now against Naslin. Three outs left. Michigan down by 3. Naslin fires a first pitch high and inside for a ball.
Close to grazing that shoulder of Amanda Vargas.
And I think Michigan's certainly going to wear a pitch if they get the opportunity. They want runners aboard. Although Naslin unfazed by the pressure, coming in with the bases loaded, nobody out last inning and getting out of it without giving up a single run. The 1-0 pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-0.
That's about as close. That was an either way pitch.
And good framing by Heidi as well. Certainly doing her pitcher no disservice with how she's placing these balls. Rally time for Michigan. They trail 6-3 here in the bottom half of the 7th. Amanda Vargas, with her third at-bat of the year, takes a strike. Still ahead in the count, though, 2-1 to Rachel Naslin. That pitch high, 3-1.
It looked like Naslin tried to go with the off speed there, and she just lost it coming out of her stretch and out of her windup. Loaded high.
Just looking to get on base. No outs here in the top of the 7th. The leadoff lady takes the pitch. I thought she was about to be aboard, but another good framing job by Heidi.
Yeah, that one looked certainly low and inside, but credit Heidi.
Now Vargas has to be defensive. The count full, 3-2. Naslin in control of this game. 3 outs away from the save and a Notre Dame upset. Vargas, a defensive swing, checked up, high in foul territory. Making the play is Rockford, and that is a tough out as that appeared high as well.
And when you're on defense trying to stave off a rally, getting that first out is so huge.
Abby Ramirez digs in, 2 outs left for Michigan. Last chance for the Wolverines against the Fighting Irish. They're down 6-3. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Ramirez slaps at a first pitch. Foul. Ramirez behind 0-1. A frustrating morning for Michigan against a Fighting Irish team that's given the Maize and Blue plenty of chances. They just haven't been able to capitalize on any, and it's been 2 home runs that have given Notre Dame a comfortable lead off the bat of the starting pitcher, Caitlin Brooks.
Yeah, Megan Betza only giving up 5 earned runs, all 5 of which.
Ramirez fouled off that second pitch. But Betza, all 5 of those runs given up via the long ball. The earned runs, that should be clarified. Ramirez slaps at another one. Still behind 0-2, 3 straight fouls into the netting behind home plate.
Yeah, and we've talked about before, outside of 2 bad pitches, it's actually been a very nice day for Megan Betza.
Can her offense help her out? 2 outs to work with. 0-2 pitch to Ramirez. Nobody aboard here in the bottom half of the 7th. Ramirez slaps this one. Foul tracking towards the home dugout, just beyond the field of play. But Wester certainly gave chase to it.
Ramirez battling tough.
Ramirez has to find a way to get this one in play and get aboard. Give the rest of her lineup a chance. 0-2 pitch. Ramirez taking all the way, and that one just missed high. A close pitch to take there for Ramirez, but confident.
Good eye by Ramirez, though. It seemed like as soon as it left the hand, she diagnosed that it would be high and stayed disciplined and laid off.
And you wonder, Heidi a bit too eager to celebrate. Didn't frame that one like she usually does. 1-1 pitch. Ramirez slaps this one over the reach of Morgan Reed, and Ramirez with a clutch hit is aboard with a little bloop single. She hit it over the head of the shortstop, Morgan Reed, who was inside, having to respect that speed of any tappers that Reed's dealt with well today against speedsters. Ramirez taking advantage of defensive positioning to bloop that one over the head of the shortstop into left field for a base knock.
And with Peters now up, it'll be interesting to see when Ramirez takes off for second.
Peters readies. Takes a first pitch strike off the outside part of the plate.
Ramirez maybe the fastest and best base runner on this Michigan team. Moving her into scoring position would be beneficial, not only in getting her one step closer to home, but eliminating the double play potential.
The 0-1 pitch to Peters from Naslin, fouled off into the netting. 6-3 the score. Notre Dame on top of Michigan 6-3. 2 outs to work with for the Maize and Blue here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Naslin looks at her catcher, readies to fire the 0-2 pitch. Peters slaps it, a defensive swing, gets underneath it for the foul tip.
And a at-bat very similar to the Michigan batter before her, as Ramirez just kept fighting, finally got something she could do with. Peters in a very similar position.
The middle infielders not in as tight as they were for Ramirez. But the corner infielders in. Ramirez, Peters slaps that one into right field. Ramirez has to slide in hard to second. She had to hold up for a moment in case Kimmy Sullivan could make the catch. She's unable to do so, and I think smartly not wanting to risk that one getting beyond her if she dove for it. But Ramirez had to be hesitant, didn't want to get tagged up. Stopped about halfway between first and second, managed to leg it out to avoid the fielder's choice from Kimmy Sullivan.
Yeah, actually smart play all around. Good hit there by Peters, and like you said, smart play by Sullivan to not sell out. The last thing you need is that ball to get behind you. And then good base running there by Ramirez.
Tying runner at the plate. Faith Canfield with runners at first and second, and that one misses low. Canfield ahead 1-0.
And anything gets into the outfield, Ramirez almost will certainly score.
Canfield 1 for 3 on the day. Could really use a hit here with runners at first and second. She gets just ahead of that one, sending it down the third baseline. Foul.
And anything to right field would put Peters first to third.
Right now, Michigan just has to be thinking about avoiding outs, keeping it in play, keeping base runners moving. They're threatening, though, again, a runner in scoring position. The tying run at the plate in Faith Canfield. Rachel Naslin readies. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, sent to the shortstop. Notre Dame trying to turn two. Canfield will leg it out, a high throw. Ramirez heading for home. She will slide in step in safely. No throw coming, so no need to slide. Michigan gets one back, but Notre Dame does get the lead runner out. A heads-up play by Morgan Reed to make the flip. Can't fault her for trying to turn two. Perhaps an ill-advised throw, though, from Katie Marino, who airmailed it over the reach of M.K. Bonham.
Huge job there by just getting one out, moving it to 2 outs. One bad swing here ends this game.
However, the power hitter, Kelly Christner, steps in as the tying run. 2 outs in the inning. 1 out left in the game for Michigan as Rachel Naslin throws in a first pitch strike.
It'll be interesting to see if Canfield takes off. Will they just concede second base?
You'd almost certainly expect that to be the case. Canfield readies at first. The middle infielder is playing deep. Christner taps that one, and it will get out of play.
And Christner really loaded up there. She's trying to push this one at least into extras.
Michigan down to their final strike 0-2 pitch on its way from Naslin to Christner. 2 outs in the inning. Michigan down 6-4 with a runner at first for Christner. She had 3 home runs last night. A home run here would be massive. The final pitch perhaps of this game. 0-2. Christner sends it into left field. This will drop for a base hit. And now runners at first and second for Blanco. No better time to break out of her slump than the present. For the junior, Tara Blanco has the opportunity to give Michigan the win with a blast. The lead runner is at the plate, the winning runner, in the form of Tara Blanco.
Great job there, Christner, trying to put one over the fence the first 2 pitches, but once she got down 0-2, excellent job taking what Naslin gave her and driving it to the opposite field.
We know Blanco has the power. She hasn't shown it this year, though. Still looking for her first home run. The wind now blowing out towards right field. 2 outs in the inning. 1 out left in the game for Michigan. Runners at first and second. A called strike on the outside part of the plate to Blanco from Naslin. 0-1 now in favor of the Irish pitcher. Naslin 2 strikes away from pulling the ultimate Houdini act. She entered this game with the bases loaded last inning. Gave up no runs. Now 2 strikes away. Blanco readies. Inside for a called strike. The strike zone in favor there of Naslin. And a good frame once again from Heidi has put Tara Blanco into a defensive position behind the count 0-2 with runners at first and second.
Heidi today has taken 4 or 5 pitches that could have been called balls and framed them up nice.
Runners at first and second, the 0-2 pitch. Blanco taking outside, and nothing Heidi could do to frame that one. A smart pitch by Naslin trying to get the junior, who's, at this point pressing, giving her struggles early on. A big opportunity for her to turn her season around here early on. She is the winning runner at the plate. Michigan behind 6-4, 1-2, 2 outs left as Blanco gets underneath this one. Camping under it is the left fielder, Wester, who makes the final out of the game. Michigan goes down. A big upset win for Notre Dame over the 10th-ranked Wolverines. The Fighting Irish improved to 4-3. Michigan falls to 4-3 as well. They'll come back later today. Notre Dame has a quick turnaround. They'll go play Minnesota right now. Michigan now has to wait till 3 o'clock to try to get some revenge. They'll face NC State at 3 o'clock. The game we'll have for you on WCBNsports.org. Dalton, your final thoughts on this morning's contest. A disappointing finish, though, for Michigan.
Yeah, certainly disappointing. The biggest thing, not so much giving up the 6 runs, but not capitalizing on many opportunities.
The Wolverines will finish with plenty stranded. The final score, Notre Dame 6, Michigan 4. I would say in most circumstances, Dalton, your player of the game would probably be the player responsible for 5 of these runs, and Caitlin Brooks, but I'm not sure you can discredit the effort Rachel Naslin did coming in with the bases loaded, and she got out of the jam, gave up just 1 run in 2 innings of work. A dominant performance, and she earns the save.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, it's tough to take away from Brooks, but against the Michigan lineup, bases loaded, nobody out, to come out and go 1, 2, 3, absolutely stunning. And coach of the game goes to Deanna Gump.
Yes,
excellent bullpen work.
Excellent bullpen management. Megan Betzva, that's a very good effort, but 2 mistakes capitalized on by the starting pitcher of this game, Caitlin Brooks, as Notre Dame gets some revenge for their loss last season. They pull off the upset win over Michigan. The final score from Raleigh, North Carolina at Dale Softball Stadium. Michigan 4, Notre Dame 6. You've been listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball. We'll be back at 3 o'clock for Michigan's final matchup against NC State for the weekend. On behalf of Dalton Bataki, I'm Leo Blavin. We wish you a good afternoon, and go blue.